groovy.
Wish I held onto a little piece of that thing, because the buzz is any indicator, that movie's gonna make some huge bank.
What buzz?
The internet buzz.
What the fuck is the internet?
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come to.
Hello and welcome to Super Team Megaforce. I am Edward Lauder. I haven't overslept this time. I am here. It's going to be a fun show. So we've got a lot of stuff to go over today. We've got all of the usual gang coming in, which is great. And we're going to be talking a bit about Justice League, a bit about WarnerMedia, a bit about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just a load of stuff, just a load of good stuff. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'd like to say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello to Reese is in the chat as usual. Reese, you're always there. And we've got lots of people waiting backstage, so we might bring them in a bit. We've got Cisco in the chat there. We've got 123 Rock Boy X in the chat as well. It's great to see all of you guys. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope you're well. I hope you've been just watching what's been going on the internet recently. 1.5 million, I think now. Restore the Snyderverse is out. So we're gonna, and Fatal J's also in the chat. So we're gonna be seeing some interesting things happening. Yes, there you go. That is producer James, who is also behind the scenes. So we're going to be talking about all this stuff. Why don't we just get basically everyone in? Maybe the first couple of people in. What do you think, producer James? No, nothing from him.
No.
In a world that is constantly consumed by war, between insiders and scoopers battling on Twitter like little kids in a schoolyard, there is one team that can bring hope. A team that doesn't partake in petty rivalry. A team that sets their egos aside to bring you the scoops they get. A team that fights for enjoying the moment, not the flames of war. That team is Super Team Megaforce!
Everyone at once. How are you guys doing?
No warning.
First of all, I would like to say I am petty and I enjoy stoking the flames of war.
We need some context to that. I feel like it was the middle of a conversation.
Ask Mikey, man. So we went to war. We've been to war for a couple years with some fuck faces on the internet before.
Okay.
I won't mention them, but
we won't mention any names. But
yeah, one sounds like Charles Murphy. One sounds.
You're literally being silenced.
We might have to charge you to get the identity of one of them.
Come on, just fucking Mikey!
One has 3 initials in their name.
Absolutely brilliant.
One has whatever. I don't even care about those people anymore. You know, I've had a long day. I found some Quaaludes in my couch, so anything's gonna fucking go today, man.
Cool it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
First of all, Edward, your show earlier when you were showing the clips from what's his name, the Matt Berry.
Yes.
Okay, so he had a show called Snuffbox, right? You ever seen Snuffbox?
Yes,
okay.
I did,
and I was telling you to say whiskey because he would go whiskey.
Yes. You want me to do that? Is that what you want?
I want you to say whiskey.
Do it.
All right. Whiskey.
We'll work on that.
We got to work on that. We got to work on that.
You and he were buddies, weren't you?
The thing I love Matt Berry from is the show. I don't know if you've ever seen Toast of London. That's the show where he does his voiceover work basically, and the thing that he does a lot in there is, yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango, and
he's hilarious. I like the boyfriend skit too, where he's where he keeps on talking to him, and then as soon as he finds out that they have a boyfriend, he goes, "Fuck off." We're getting really into UK shit right now. Everybody's like, "What the fuck you guys talking about?" Steel Balls too was my show.
This is one of the things that we need to get Matt Berry in an MCU project. I think he's playing a vampire now. He knows Taika Waititi, so why don't you get him into a?
You never know. He might be
never know. Who knows? Who knows?
He may take your role as Captain Britain, Edward.
He may do, and there'd be, honestly, I would concede to Matt Berry.
I knew it. See, I knew if
Not
I
by-
invoked
not by
Captain Britain,
choice.
the graphic would show
Yeah,
up.
definitely. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys have not just been filling your time with hashtag restore the Snyderverse. I'm pretty sure TiVo, you're behind all of that, aren't you?
Hey man, you know what? Just because I'm a Marvel guy doesn't mean I hate DC. I mean, so whatever you guys do,
Is that like
that's
something
your
wrong with that
business.
sentence? Just because I'm a Marvel guy.
No, because too many times fandom, it's always Marvel versus DC, and it's always comparison. It's like, just because I'm a Marvel guy doesn't mean I want DC to fail. Matter of fact, I need DC to succeed because then we get more superhero films.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
I give TiVo
James
credit.
kill me, man.
I give TiVo. Me and Edward was talking about that. TiVo, you actually admitted you kind of liked the Snyder cut. And
no, I liked it. I just thought it was too long.
Well, no, just stay with it.
I just said I liked it, but I thought it was too long. That's all. Yeah. But there are some glaring plot holes that are rather weird. That
so you watched it more than once.
Yes, I have, because I had to watch it back to be like, what the fuck? What just happened? Anyway.
But doesn't this remind you of the old days, back in the Marvel Zombies versus DC fanboys war, like the 90s and the late 80s, where they just say we're supposed to hate each other, right? And I bought both, man. I bought all the Green Lantern books, and I bought all the Daredevil books. So.
You know what's interesting though? It's like fandom pits each other against each other, but the creators, they're like, no, hey, go read this in so and so's book. Go watch them. So you know what I mean? But it's fandom that is toxic. That is just like, you either love one and you have to hate the other. It's like,
I thought it was cool that Zach was like, hey, I would love to do a Daredevil project. I'm like, yeah, that's cool that he, just threw it out there.
Said he's also never talked to Kevin Feige in his life either. So that's kind of
all I wanted to say is I like Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet, but that's really going back.
That's going back. Yeah,
I'll tell you, I like Wham UK.
Yeah,
hey, there you go, man.
Last Christmas
Young Guns, song ahead.
I never even knew he was gay, man. I should have known with those shorts when I seen that video.
Big giveaway.
Win-win situations. Win-win situation.
Oh my god.
Okay, this
James is out of control. I swear to God, James is out of control, man.
Hey,
he's not. That's Hamada.
Well, he's not out of control. He's trying to keep us on course. And I suppose what he wants us to talk about is Ansanoff, is WarnerMedia.
Do we want to
lie? I mean, that's what people. I've been getting a lot.
That is a hot topic.
Yeah, actually, you know what? A lot of people have been contacting me, asking me about like more information on stuff and things like that involving WarnerMedia specifically. And look, everything I know is in that article. In all the articles, I've put everything I know.
I can't wait to see Syl's reaction when I drop the stink bomb today on the show.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna stare at your face, dude. I just wanted to see your face while I'm.
Oh my goodness! Oh my
god! That's gonna be in like half an hour, so I still gotta get it ready.
Yeah.
So basically, Syl, you and I have spoken about this at length. I was on your show the other day, and we had that was a very good show.
It was my best show.
It is
best numbers ever.
I'm not taking any credit for that, by the way, because I did leave.
Welcome to Super Team Megaforce. I am not Edward Lauder.
No, you are not.
Too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take over your show one day. And we've said this before, but I'm going to be like, I am not Syl Abdul Inc.
Oh man, I have a perfect idea for that. I'll talk to James after the show.
So yeah, I think a lot of people already in the comments are mentioning Hamada Burger.
Hamada Burger.
I'm telling you, that sounds delicious. You guys need to change your phrasing on that, because that reminds me of Umami Burger, which is a burger joint.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you guys want to say something bad, don't call it a Hamada Burger. Call it like something else, like Hamada Tofu or something. Hamada Burger sounds delicious.
He was like, that sounds great. Hamada
Burger sounds good, man.
Hamada Burger sounds delicious. Give us some Hamada Burgers, and then sprinkle a bit of I don't know. I was kind of trying to come up with something with J.J. Abrams on there, or Bad Robot, but it wasn't going to work.
I've seen you before. You're the asshole on TV.
Abrams asparagus, Snyder sausages. I don't know. It has to be alliterative, so
it's already a term now. Hamada burgers out there.
Sauce.
Yeah. Sarnoff sauce.
Sarnoff sauce.
You still don't know her name, Mikey.
Sarnoff sauce.
That's so wrong.
Sorry, Hamada enchilada sounds delicious too. I mean, whoever keeps on saying all these good foods, man.
Enough asparagus. There you go.
The burger sticks. Mikey put it out there. That's it.
I wanted to know if you guys saw recently what HBO Max tweeted. So we were talking about how there's been literally no fanfare coming out of HBO or WarnerMedia
until your article came out.
Yeah, literally. And then actually, you and I, Mikey, we had the great pleasure of having both of our articles liked by the man himself. Liked
Congratulations,
by
Edward. I'm very happy for you.
That was
what a 2 days.
Wait, Josh Whedon like you guys' comments? That's awesome.
And
he'll like yours, Tivo.
And I want to thank the guy in the chair. I want to thank James Simon for getting that article out there the way he did, and it's just been all over the place thanks to James getting the word on social media, because I am astounded by the reaction it got, and certainly Zack Snyder liking it. Like, what does that say about his feelings right now?
Mikey!
I mean, it's like, here I am slamming his former bosses or people in control, and he likes to, like, more, you know,
right.
Like, this is Sparta!
I mean, I thank both of y'all, because I had two very large videos because of Mikey and Edward's story. Those have been my two largest videos, this past month. So appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We've been like Snyder Central the past couple of weeks here, you know. Or Hamada Burger Central.
It'd be interesting to see, Tivo, like your thoughts on everything that's going on at WarnerMedia, because you must know a bit about what's going on. I
don't watch any of your videos. I don't read any of Mikey's articles, but
you watch Syl Abdul Inc.
I want to get your opinion on it.
Okay, so I just have one quick question. Fucking James, man.
Anyway, go ahead. I won't cut you off on your rant. Okay.
So Mikey and I have probably talked about this since last year. And Mikey, and this started with this is from the comic book side, and I always say read the tea leaves, because you kind of see where things are going. Where Mikey and I have talked about AT&T doesn't want to be in a comic book business, right?
Yes,
they want to be in the intellectual property business. They just want the characters to make movies. And this started with the firing of Dan DiDio, who had something called 5G, which ended up being Future State. He got fired, and that kind of started we saw the layoffs of a lot of DC employees at Burbank. And so Mikey and I, we kind of saw the writing on the wall, where it's like, where they go with this, right? HBO Max was something that they really wanted to work on. They don't want to be in a comic book publishing business. AT&T as a corporate overseer sees numbers and they see profits, and they don't see a large enough profit margin for comic books. And to the fact where DC Comics monthly titles have shrunken a lot, and they've been putting out weird little things. They went through different distributors. There's been a lot of turmoil before the Snyder Cut stuff, just on the AT&T side and the comic book business side. And to me, it's AT&T is such a large company that then they went down to this other level where now, and I talked with James about this online, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but with the Snyder Cut coming out and all the controversy, there was a ton of just so much cool DC movie news that came out this week. Zatanna solo film. We got a trailer for Suicide Squad. Pierce fucking Brosnan playing Dr. Fate is like the perfect casting for a film I've ever heard of. And it seems that we have this, for better or for worse, the Snyder Cut people have kind of put themselves in a camp where everything is now, it has to be HBO Max, and they don't care. To me, at least, it seems they don't care about whatever theatrical films are going to be released. That got amplified more so by that fiasco last week. I won't mention the channel or the people involved, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That caused a division within the division. It caused a division within the division of Snyder Cut, where it's like, okay, and then I understand where Snyder Cut fans they're to me it seems like they're fans of Zack Snyder. I don't know if they're necessarily fans of DC comic books or DC movies in general, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there may be some that say, "Hey, I like Aquaman too," but they were really there, and it's not. I'm not blaming them. They wanted to see their version of Justice League, either be it because they're the fans of the movies or they're the fans of the comic books. They want to see their version of the Justice League, and they got that. But in doing so, I think, I think it's partly to blame to Zack Snyder too, and some of the articles said where he was going to all these other outlets, kind of letting it breathe and fester, right? And when on that one YouTube channel where he says, "Look, if there's going to be a Justice League 2 film, I'm not going to be part of it," is what and so that caused even more division. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a weird dynamic. And then when you find out what's going on behind, put it this way, AT&T has horrible spokespeople. First of all, so does Sony. Remember, Mikey, when you and I were talking about Sony and Spider-Man, and the Sony head came out and said, the whole thing about, oh yeah, Spider-Man's not part of it for now.
For the moment the door is closed, I'm like, oh come on.
That was a terrible quote.
Oh,
yeah, but
Edward, your article was great, Edward, as far as bringing it down between all the different heads, because I think a lot of people don't know, like, the head of HBO Max is also the head of HBO and also some television networks as well, as far as content. But then you have WarnerMedia, and then you have Walter Hamada, who just does DC films, and then you have like Warner Brothers, in general, where Godzilla versus Kong, Dune, and these other films are going to show. So,
but before you go on about that, though, can you blame Snyder? Though I want to hear your thoughts on this. Can you blame Snyder for being ticked off for the 2017 and what the execs did and meddled with it and everything?
Yeah, I mean, no, nobody's blaming Zack Snyder, but obviously,
no. But can you blame him for not wanting to do Justice League 2 and announcing that and be like, "Hey, I want to"?
Well, I mean, the whole thing in 2017 was Warner Brothers screwed the pooch by putting a 2-hour mandate on films, right? I mean, I don't know how long that lasted.
That's just
stupid.
And so, if you put a 2-hour mandate on films, and then Zack Snyder comes with his, "Here's my 4-hour movie," that's what they deemed it unwatchable. You know what I mean?
That's a terrible characterization, though. Unwatchable. Come on.
But here's the thing: if you parse words from executives, unwatchable to them means unwatchable in the theater. I cannot.
We are in the process having many conversations with the talent, the agents, and the exhibitors to try to work through how this can work and be good for all of them.
I get that though.
You have less screen times when you have a 4-hour movie or even a 3-hour movie. Like 2 hours is a sweet spot for when you can get the most amount of showings on a screen in a theater. But obviously, and we talked about this last time, Zack Snyder is long form storytelling. I guess I mean at least now he is. I mean. So I mean, I think really there is some.
What's really funny is like right after that mandate, you have Endgame coming out with 3 hours length.
Well, see, that's the thing. Just to kind of,
the biggest hit of all time. You know what I mean?
Piggyback that, I don't think Zach came in with a 4-hour cut. I think he was always going to make his ultimate cut. But he said he has several cuts, so I think he has a 3-hour cut, a 2:14 cut, like so. To say unwatchable, that's the worst word choice.
Yeah, he had a 2 hour and a half, but he had a 2.5 hour version.
Yeah, I think he finally got down there to that.
But honestly, what really happened though is Dawn of Justice. It's what really irritated the executives.
It split everybody.
They really wanted that film to hit $1 billion. They wanted that to be their Avengers. Like, hey, where's our $1 billion? They couldn't wait. They were so impatient about it.
Right.
And look, they cut out that film too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was filled with studio interference as well. That movie.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I think the main point of my article was to highlight the fact that WarnerMedia as a company, which is really the company you should look at. I see a lot of people asking and going, "Oh, can't AT&T just greenlight like Zack Snyder's Justice League 2?" That honestly, the fact that AT&T came in and did that for the Snyder Cut that is unheard of. A parent company doing that is literally unheard of.
Yeah.
So
I think that was a gift to that new regime. Yeah. Whoever's running WarnerMedia to say, "Here, take
there is one example of that though. That's when when from Disney took Ike Perlmutter out of Marvel Studios and let Kevin Feige do his thing. That's the closest thing I can think of. Was when Ike was taken out of the picture.
And that was the best thing they ever did.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you one of the things you have to realize when it comes to DC and the films in particular, they really need, unfortunately, they need someone like a Kevin Feige. And a lot of people thought that was going to be Walter Hamada, but actually it's turned out that Walter Hamada basically has, unless the other executives agree with him, he basically has no greenlighting power on his own. He can't.
I'll take you back even further. Before they thought it was Walter Hamada, they thought it was Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns, he was supposed to be the
guy.
Yeah.
And then in that interview with Variety, Ann Sarnoff mentioned a name that I'm pretty sure you, Mike, all of you are very familiar with, and that was Jim Lee.
Yeah.
And basically saying, oh, Jim Lee's involved as well, and it's like, stop doing this.
I am a comic book guy, and Jim Lee is a hack as a executive. Right? He draws some great Batman and X-Men, but he doesn't know what he's doing as an executive.
When I discuss what I'm about in 30 minutes, you'll see why Jim Lee is not going to be that person. I'll explain why.
Oh my God!
Don't bullshit me.
Jim Lee, but Jeff Johns supposed to be the guy. A lot of Snyder fans who's in the chat right now, we all were actually excited when Jeff Johns was first announced.
Wasn't Berg too? That was the
beginning of DC Films division. It was John Berg, Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns started writing the Batman film, Batfleck film. It sounded exciting, but he's not a movie guy either. So
no, he's not. And him and Snyder had differences in vision as well.
And Mikey and I both agree on this, that we think Berlanti should take over. Because Berlanti knows the comic books, the stories inside and out. He knows fan service. If you watch the Crisis crossover on CW, the fans just went absolutely loved it. On the minimal budget it was. He showed there that he can make a combined universe. But I don't know, Mikey, why don't they give Berlanti more? Is it just is there a contract thing? They just don't believe he can do it on the big screen?
Well, no. Every time I ask about him, they said the executives see him as the TV guy. He's a TV guy. Yeah. But he's not the film guy.
But
you have Jeff Johns in there.
Well, so was Josh Whedon was a
exactly
TV guy
right.
before he did the Avengers.
But that Green Lantern series could change the game, right, Mikey? Because if Berlanti knocks it out the park with the higher budget,
But look how great Doom Patrol is. I mean, that show is really dark.
Stargirl's great also.
Stargirl's great.
Yeah.
Superman and Lois is like one of the best Man of Steel adaptations ever.
Doom Patrol is very underrated, Mikey. Like
it is.
I love that show. That show when it came out.
It's an acquired taste.
And it's so faithful. It's so faithful to the Grant Morrison comic book.
Well, who's attached with Swamp Thing?
Yeah, David Street in there.
Swamp Thing was a Berlanti producer.
That was Berlanti?
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? Oh, because that was DC Universe, right?
Yeah, it was straight.
That was James Wan. James Wan was the executive producer.
That's right. That was Wan.
And it was so expensive. They had so expensive they didn't finish it.
That was a brilliant show, man.
But another reason why they had issues with Zack is that the money that was spent on those movies was very expensive films, and they didn't generate the kind of profits that they were looking for. So it's kind of a double whammy there.
I'm gonna say one thing about Berlanti is that I mean, again, I think you might have a point, but for some reason the fandom just doesn't like him.
It's the stigma of CW.
Yeah, it's the stigma of CW that's there with him. So, but the thing is the fact of the matter is, it doesn't really matter where they came from. Look where Kevin Feige came from before he did Marvel. He was what I don't even know what he was on the X-Men films, but he was working on the X-Men films.
Didn't Feige work on Donner's Superman?
Probably.
I believe so.
He worked for Donner's production company and Donner's wife. And that's how he got his start. He was underneath Donner for a while, and he learned the ropes from him, and then he went on to do with Avi Arad and X-Men and stuff.
Okay, his
Thank
first
you, man in the chair.
His first producing role was X-Men in 2000, and that was an associate producer. Then he produced Spider-Man, then Daredevil, then X2, then Hulk.
I mean,
Punisher movie,
That's like a flash in the pan. That no one would never have that,
though, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
Did Walter Hamada pay his dues?
I mean, that's rhetorical, right? But that's what I'm saying. Feige is 1 in a million, man. You're not gonna get someone that started off with 2000 X-Men.
Yeah,
that was like the beginning of like a new era of superhero films, and You're not going to find no one else like Feige. That's the problem. To say that DC needs a Feige, you're not going to find another Feige that has this background.
Yeah, that term really bothers me too because it makes a lot of fans upset. Like you can just say you need someone to steer the ship. And what's that?
You need a Feige. It's like, you got DC, you need a Feige.
I need a Feige burger. That sounds delicious.
You need a Michael Jordan. Like, how many teams are saying that since the 90s?
No, but you always need someone at the top that has some sort of vision to steer the ship. And
somebody has final say. Somebody has final say.
Yeah.
Get Bruce Timm to do it. Bruce Timm.
Someone who has the experience of dealing with like all those films you said since 2000 X-Men, but also knows the comics. That's what DC needs.
James Gunn.
It's also just somebody. Yeah, well, honestly, I highly doubt. I highly doubt James Gunn would do anything else with Warner Brothers after the stunt they pulled.
Oh no,
but people, who's really, I understand the whole Berlanti angle because again, CW is kind of a watered down approach. Give Berlanti credit. The first 2 seasons of every show has been excellent on CW when he's given the budget and the writing team and everything. Let's see what he does with that Green Lantern series first before I really, either take a flyer on Berlanti or not.
I'm sorry, but Berlanti already had a shot with the Green Lantern and he really messed it up. I watched that again. I told you,
Johns.
Very butchered.
But that film is not good.
The issue with the CW though is having to do like over 20 episodes a year.
Yeah.
You really stretch yourself too thin.
It's kind of old school TV, isn't it? As well.
It is.
CW is very much old school TV.
Yeah, I mean, look at WandaVision. Those shows that just give like 6 or 12 episodes, and you have a really good story, really tight story.
DLW in the chat, like you said, because I know you don't like Berlanti at all. I see him in my streams. But he's giving Green Lantern series a chance. Just give that a chance on HBO Max.
If
he bombs, I can't.
If you don't like his CW shows, watch Doom Patrol, and you really see him unleashed.
Yeah,
because that show is weird and dark. I mean,
it is. He can go there. Yeah,
with a great cyborg too. I have to say, I love that cyborg.
He has a good cyborg.
I think ultimately what they need is not only someone to be at the top and kind of greenlight everything. They also need a decent spokesperson.
Yeah,
because at the moment they really don't have that.
Oh my god,
is terrible.
She's like, where's the fire? Here's some gasoline. Let me throw it on there.
Win-win.
But here, allow me to play devil's advocate, though. So a company's job, spokesperson, is to defend their brand, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have Snyder or his fans bashing Walter Hamada, doing all these things while he's trying to. Or eventually, they have to come out and defend him, right? Or else they can't just let it go unchecked, right? I mean. I think the verbiage she used was off for what she said with Zack Snyder, right? To say that nicely, to say Zack Snyder just told his story, we're done, and she should have said, "Hey, we really got a chance to show Zack Snyder's thing. This is where we're going now. This is The Rock doing Black Adam. We got all this other stuff, but she came off more like." Yeah, Zack Snyder, we gave him a shot. This is his thing. Now we're moving on. This is what we're doing next. Yeah.
The messaging is terrible because if you're preaching multiverse, but you don't, allow an Abrams Pocket universe and all these other things, Black Adam, but you don't want Zack's universe, then it's like, what is the multiverse then? Like, why even say multiverse if you can't give
she doesn't know what that means.
I guess she doesn't know what the
multiverse means.
Why is she the spokesman for DC content?
She's never read a comic in her life.
But then again, during DC fandom, Jim Lee and Hamada explained it pretty well. If you remember that panel that they had where they talked about.
And I do think that moving forward, there's more opportunities for us to do things like this. And really, it at the end of the day, it's about the fans. And I think the fans want to see it. And it gives us a way to sort of explore maybe some different stories and different ideas and use the medium in a different way than it's been used thus far.
Yeah, like what he said.
That goes totally against that idea.
James is going to make TiVo lose his mind.
No, I mean, basically what he said was, look, we have...
Funny guy, Sully.
We have the motion pictures, right? We have Aquaman showing, 2 Wonder Woman films, and they're kind of doing they kind of said we're not making everything tied together in one connective tissue like the MCU does, be it on Disney Plus and on the big screen. But what we're doing is allowing directors to tell the story. And he was talking about James Wan doing Aquaman. He was talking about Patty Jenkins doing Wonder Woman. But then he said, on HBO Max is a platform that allows us where all these stories can meet together, right? I mean, you know, and then but you know, with the Spider-Verse thing, the Snyderverse stuff, you know, I don't know. It almost like the negative feedback that Hamada got is like, all right, well, why should I want to do this? You know, if that's the case. But what you also have to worry about is if you have too many stories, then the connective tissue becomes really, really hard, and then it's literally Crisis.
So that's a
Infinite
messaging problem then. But see, Mikey called this a long time ago when they were saying multiverse. Mikey was like, nah, they're really not doing, you know, a full on multiverse. You know, it's gonna be a continuation of some kind of, you know, through line. So it's mixed messaging, you know. But Hamada, I think Mikey could back me up on this as well. Hamada's thing is he's gonna lean on the talent. He was leaning on Jeff Johns, and that blew up in his face. Now he's leaning on J.J. Abrams. Why didn't he want to lean on Zack Snyder? That's what I don't understand. You know, because he's not coming up with the stuff by himself. Hamada. Yeah. So
I think it's a bit like, you know, what Mikey was saying and what they were saying is they wanted things to be lightened up a bit more. They don't need to go full on Ant-Man, but maybe a little bit like more like Winter Soldier, which was a Marvel movie that was very serious but still had lighthearted moments.
But that was an awesome movie. Like that's
but I think that's what they want. I mean, you know, I don't want to say they're jealous of it, but they are. They want that model.
They are.
You know, but they screwed up by not making solo films first and then giving and then jamming Justice League down our throats. They should have gave us a solo film for each character.
They should have let Zach do a Batman film. And then
I don't know about that.
You know, I mean, that's basically what BVS was a Batman film.
Yeah, but he'd already, but Zack Snyder already made a bad choice there by aging Ben Affleck to be the Dark Knight. By that, so how many more stories can you tell with an old ass Batman? You know,
so that shows you he had a closed loop story, just like Nolan. Yeah. No one criticized Nolan going that route in 3 films.
Well, that was before they even decided they were going to do anything connected. But like Matt Reeves is doing a young Batman that allows the story to really grow. And I don't even know what era it takes place in the 90s or I don't know.
They haven't clarified that yet.
Well, the issue with Zach's films. Is that, okay, remember I said that Warner Bros. Is very reactionary, and they see the MCU as the model of what they should be, and they feel that we didn't do well with the dark stuff that Zack did. We have to go in a totally opposite direction. Now, the irony of all this, their biggest movie of all time is Joker. It's very, very dark.
That's the darkest you can probably go.
See, I mean, it's just like they're confused. They're absolutely confused.
Joker's also a movie that Warner Brothers doesn't want to make.
Exactly,
they deliberately gave
more
Todd
irony.
And that's probably another 1 in a million film too.
That's why I'm curious to see what the tone of Flash will be, because I mean you have to make Flash light, right? I mean, come on, it's the Flash. I mean,
well, we'll get to that.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
There's got so many.
I mean, there are some. I mean, if you think about Flashpoint in the comic storyline, Flashpoint's comic storyline, and then one of the greatest Green Lantern stories ever is the Blackest Night.
Blackest Night.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely great. You got characters coming back from the dead and everything, but it goes to branding that not only Warner Brothers have, but DC has. The branding is Batman, Batman, Batman. Everything is Batman.
That's what it has been.
Just like in the comic books, it's Batman, Batman, Batman. Just like if a villain comes, it's a Batman villain, right? Punchline.
What sells.
Exactly. I mean, and so... And it's kind of their fault for not, but if you think about 10, 15 years ago when Flashpoint came out, Flash was the main storyline, and it came through Flash Comics. Like we were just talking Blackest Night, it was Green Lantern. To this day, I mean, if you go comic shelves, Future State is a little bit all over the place, but for the longest time, it's Batman driven. The Dark Knight, the Batman Who Laughs, and all this. It's gotten so dark with Batman. It's like, okay, who else is gonna become the Dark Knight, the Batman Who Laughs, the Robin, whatever,
Bat thirst.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I would love to see a Red Hood film. To be honest with you, that would be dope.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many. thing is, there are so many things they can do, and actually, I mean, one of the things that was interesting about the MCU is the fact that they actually started off with lesser known heroes, like with the comics, because they were kind of put in that position by the fact that
they had no choice, because
they didn't own any of the rights to their own characters.
Lemonade out of it.
It was literally, you know, a flash sale over at Marvel when they were going under, basically. So,
but it was also great casting, though, right? Because you took what was then a B-level character in Iron Man, and gave Robert Downey Jr. the role, and he just absolutely ran with it. You know what I mean? I mean, Chris Hemsworth was doing Australian soap operas before he
was kind of a joke
Thor?
At that point. To be honest, him and George wasn't the highlight of his career. You know, so they nailed it.
But that's one of the things. But I will give them credit. Like, I think the DC Comics films are very well cast as well. I don't think the casting is the problem. I really do think the problem comes from higher up, and just the lack of vision, the lack of planning, and also they're constantly changing people at the very top. Like, I was looking at the CEOs of Warner Brothers. It's changed so many times over the years, and it's like there's no continuity there. And like even Hamada was basically brought in until his contract ends in 2023. Who knows what happens when that contract ends? Yeah, he needs to leave. He
better hope J.J. Abrams nails his Black Superman, or Hamada's done. If that doesn't work, he's done. Yeah,
but it's such. It was mystery box. It's actually going to be a mystery. The mystery box is Hamada's there. Hamada going to stay on?
right.
You know, and I think with the 2020 shutdown, it didn't help things either. You know what I mean?
No,
it really made things difficult but if you think about it, thank God for HBO Max and Disney Plus during the shutdown, right?
Yeah.
I mean, or else we would have just been stuck with really digging deep into the holes of Netflix to find some documentary about some weird shit. Yeah.
Well, I suppose the good stuff we can get out of this is the fact that actually Zack Snyder's Justice League has done well, and the numbers will come out eventually. Yes, it has. It has done well. It has, and I mean, even 1.8 million viewers on HBO Max. Again, you have to look at those numbers because the numbers are quite misleading, because it's literally only people that have a particular brand of smart TV and have enabled some sort of.
But you gotta compare that. We talked about this, Edward. You gotta
you're comparing it to Wonder Woman.
The other shows that they were. Not even just that. Just comparing it to what came out that week. Falcon and Winter Soldier had 1.7. March Madness 2.5. So if you're putting it in that box, you're like, okay, this did great numbers when you see the full. Once we get the full.
But I said this on Twitter that I don't really think it's a fair comparison between Falcon and Winter Soldier to
Snyder Cut.
Snyder, because you know why? It's a series. It's not a movie. So a lot of people are going to be like, you know what? Let me let a couple of episodes queue up or anything. So I meant for a feature film that's been hyped up so much, it did great numbers, but I don't think it's really fair to compare it to a TV show. Here's the best comparison if you want to make an apples to apples comparison. Compare the Snyder Cut to Soul, strictly streaming release, right? You know how many views that had?
Soul,
500 million.
Well,
and it was also during the holidays.
Metric?
So
what metric
are
you using though?
I'll tag you guys on Twitter. I'll tag you guys on Twitter.
I'm just saying, because we're just going off Samba TV, which has a limited window.
No. And plus, obviously HBO Max screwed the pooch on their, delivering and not having it in the UK and all those other things.
Yes, here's more to it than that, though. You can't really look at the first weekend. I mean, it's just streaming, so you're looking at the long term.
Yeah.
Especially with something that's 4 hours long, like Justice.
I look at it with Falcon and Winter Soldier though. The fact it was a 50-minute episode. I mean, the fact that more people watch at least part of a 4-hour film, I think that's pretty major in itself.
But that guy you interviewed, Syl, that was did you interview him or was it Ed?
That was me.
Okay, so that dude is going to be hacking up everybody's fucking personal information, because I was like, wait a second, there's something in my TV that you're what is it called again? What was the
Dr. Jeffrey Silverman?
Yes, Samba TV.
And Syl kept on referring to him as Mr. Silverman, and he was like, no, Doctor.
From what I heard, though, is that WarnerMedia what's the proper way of saying this? Trying to be polite here, but I'm having a very difficult time.
Let's go there.
But, they weren't too pleased with the numbers, not because they're too low, because they were higher than they wanted them to be, and they really.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know it sounds bizarre, but they really. They did not want this film to succeed because but they're trying to push the new Coke. They want you to leave the classic Coke behind.
I'm sorry,
they have all this new Coke coming out, and there are big concerns that fans are not going to accept it because they're still stuck on the Snyderverse, and they want you to put away the Hershey candy bars, and have some broccoli and Hamada burgers,
Mikey!
I'm sorry, but they were upset that it did too well.
Too well, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. It sounds silly, but it's true. They did not want this to succeed.
Oh man!
And AT&T's over the moon. Let me put it that way. They are over the moon by this. But
don't forget that Trolls did really well on streaming too. But that's because the pandemic just had started, right? And they were promoting.
Trolls did great.
Yeah,
at the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. Trolls did great.
But also, you're talking about families, two families watching. This is different,
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing, I think, it's just got out of hand. It's just got completely out of hand, and I think it was just amusing that Ann Sarnoff came in to steady the ship and has just made it worse. She's literally punctured holes in the bloody ship, and the thing's going down.
It's only her.
He's
still.
I remember before it came out, I said Hamada was not impressed, and so you named your episode after that.
Yeah, that was a big video.
That's before I even saw the movie where that impressed dialogue in there. Hamada was impressed.
Here's the thing with the weekend of Snyder Cut, the fandom was in celebration mode, from Wednesday night, up until Sunday morning, and all of a sudden Ann Sarnoff had to throw, a Molotov cocktail on everyone.
Exactly. That's a great way to describe it.
It's like the worst timing ever.
James, check your Facebook Messenger. I put in the link that did the data for Soul.
You
that
guys
came
can't
close
party.
to 500 million views.
Okay, cool.
People are questioning my.
No, I already threw it in the comments.
Yeah.
I've seen the
source of it.
It seems like we're not bashing Warner Brothers enough, so we're losing viewers. But that's okay because we're not here to bash anyone. We're here to talk we're here to talk and explain. We're here to talk and explain what's going on.
I've got to show you something though. I am literally Warner Brothers branded. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see that. That's the Warner Brothers logo. It's just it's.
I just want to know the metric. I believe Soul did very well. I think Wonder Woman 84 did better.
1.6 billion view, like minutes viewed. I think that's the
that was on Nielsen. So you're talking about Nielsen.
Yeah, that's the metric I saw. So I was looking.
Yeah, Gizmodo ran an article about it, and they said that total roughly 1. Let me see. During the first week, it streamed for a grand total of 1.66 billion minutes, translates to roughly 500 million views for the film. Obviously, it was during the holidays as well. So and that was I say that's a good comparison because it wasn't released in the theaters at all. I think Onward was in the theaters for like a week before it moved off to streaming. But Soul gave them enough time to really promote it and say it's coming out, and then the Mulan numbers are probably I don't know what the Mulan numbers were.
I think they were terrible.
No, they did terrible.
That was Mulan is different because that was a premiere access thing, so you had to pay.
Right.
Soul you didn't have to pay
for. Yeah, you had to pay.
And also Soul is on Disney Plus, which is available worldwide. Already has a lot more subscribers than HBO Max, and its release. Let's be honest, its release wasn't botched worldwide like it was with WarnerMedia.
Soul's a great film, and I watched it Christmas Day. I watched, I think, Wonder Woman first. No, Soul came out before Wonder Woman, so I watched that. But Wonder Woman, in those same metrics, Nielsen showed that Wonder Woman 84 did more minutes or whatever, even though it was in less areas through HBO Max, which, I think that's pretty big for Wonder Woman 84 and HBO Max. But through those metrics, it took a month for Nielsen to release that report. So, like I said, we're 3 weeks away from knowing how many minutes you know, it did. So I mean, that's a good comparison, but it's like we won't know that until unless HBO Max says something.
Unless there's an investor call right from AT&T or whomever, and then even then, whether they really tell the truth,
say something. They have to say
Bet thirst.
I just want to ask you guys. Actually, I want to get all your opinions. You know how I feel. Like, do you guys want Zack Snyder to be able to continue his universe on HBO Max? If that's a thing, would you like that?
I don't have to answer someone.
Yes,
I'll be right back.
I would like to see him but then again, I do think that Zack Snyder's films, I mean, if they're going to be 4 hours long, it's going to be a bit difficult to watch them all in cinemas. But I would like to see them in cinemas as well. I think I can't
see him in I can't see him in 4.3 aspect ratio either. I mean, but yes, with the ending of the Snyder Cut, of course, right? I mean, Jesus Christ, they left so much out there. It's like, it's almost like he purposely was like fucking with us. Like, hey man, this is what y'all could have. Yeah. But now you ain't getting shit.
You know what I want? I want a Zack Snyder directed Mira movie, all about how she got those 2 buckets of water. That's what I want. I want that more. No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over. Please don't bring that up again, James.
Hey, you brought it up, Mikey.
Yeah, I know.
Mikey, what are your?
I would love to see him do his HBO Max project, especially. Oh, I can't say it. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to see it. I'm all for it. I
would like to see him finish whatever he started with the Justice League, right? Man, because why was Martian Manhunter showed up? Why did Martian Manhunter try to shoot down Superman with a missile? We need those answers. Why did Darkseid forget that he put the anti-life equation on Earth? And then I need to know why. I need to know why he forgot that he actually left that big ass thing there, and then Steppenwolf found it. So.
Pure stupidity from there. They just got they can't remember.
But
anything.
Do you think Zack Snyder has also pigeonholed himself into being like, all right, damn, now I'm stuck on streaming? I mean, because every director wants their films to be on the big screen, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way of the future, man. I mean, theaters will still exist, but streaming is. And Lucas called it like 20 years ago.
Lucas called everything 20 years ago. I mean,
I mean, look at the ramifications of what the HBO Max decision did, and what Mikey's report, or was it Mikey or Ed talking about Nolan talking to Marvel now, right? And then pissing off the director of Dune as well. I mean, Dune, I can't imagine. Dune to me has to be seen on the big screen, let alone Godzilla versus Kong.
Exactly.
I'm still seeing that in the theater, by the way. There's no way I'm going to watch. Maybe after I see it 2 times in the theater, then I'll watch it on HBO Max. But I mean, come on, you got to see that on IMAX.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
Okay, I want to know Syl's thoughts on where this is going to go next with the movement.
The movement. Well, I mean. I think with the hashtag trending, I think it's like at 1.5.
It'll be over that now. Yeah, it'll be over.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, because people are still like, I think.
You're welcome. I created a Twitter bot for that. You're welcome.
Oh, really? Awesome. Hey, never seen Timo. I know people don't know. Timo was actually trying to help, but no, he's really not. No, I think really Zach, because like I said, people gotta watch Vero. As a serious reporters, Edward. Mike, you gotta be watching Vero, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I hate Vero. I hate it with a passion.
I do too. I don't like
that he uses that is just so stupid. But it is also very, very intelligent, because it's like no one's looking. No exec even knows.
I think he knows the owner, so like he's helping him just drawing traffic.
Is that where Zack Snyder dropped his iPhone film? Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, he did do an iPhone film, didn't he? Yeah, but I'm not sure if it was Vero, probably.
But Zach said on Vero, basically they had to have recognized the trending event, just like they recognized it in 2019. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. That kind of got him that deal for the Snyder Cut, and Mikey scooped that. It helped. So
it's really funny because I spoke to a Sony guy who works for Sony, and he said that Sony would sell their soul for the kind of social media engagement the Snyder cut is getting. I mean, they would sell the souls of their mothers if Madam Web got that kind of Twitter reaction.
Well, they did get a lot of social media reaction when they took Spider-Man away from.
Yeah, that was huge. Yeah,
and the wrong kind of reaction I did.
Yeah. And there's Dan in the comments asking if Warner Brothers listens to Twitter trends. Well, the fact that the Snyder Cut was released means that
they do.
Warner Brothers probably doesn't. AT&T definitely does. Like that's what they're looking at. They are looking.
Yeah. Wish I held onto a little piece of that thing because the buzz is any indicator that movie's gonna make some huge bank.
What buzz?
The internet buzz.
What the fuck is the internet?
He was so good looking, wasn't he? He still is, but he's just such a good looking guy. Seriously.
Yeah, Jay. Yeah,
that was funny.
And then in the comments we got the name for this prequel movie that I want: Mira, the Quest for the Missing Accent.
It's gonna happen.
I am Mira. I am from Britain. I am. It's almost...
that's the scoop, Mikey. Mira.
That was so weird, man. That was because when I saw that, I go, what? Wait, I swear to God, she didn't have an because in Aquaman she didn't talk like that, right? I meant
no. Imagine a whole movie. Imagine a whole movie with her talking like that. That would have been awful. You'd have been like, oh my God, seriously. And then
Edward, let me ask you a question about American actors doing accents. What did you think about Robert Downey Jr.'s accent for Sherlock Holmes?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. His British accent kind of goes just like this, and I'm just like, it's just awful. It's
you know who has a horrible American accent? Liam Neeson. He cannot pull off an
Liam
American
Neeson
accent.
just sounds Northern Irish. Yeah, Liam Neeson's accent is just Northern Irish. So he just goes a bit lower. He's like, this is my American accent now. It's just even lower than it was before. And the other one, I mean, there are lots of I actually think
Jason Statham cannot pull off an American accent either.
Oh my God.
Well, he just says his own one.
He doesn't even try anymore.
Yeah, he shouldn't even try.
The Stath just does his own thing. You can't do anything. You can't do anything away from London.
You know, follow up Hobbs and Shaw. You think they're gonna?
They'll do that. Yeah.
Did you know they wanted him for Bullseye? They wanted him for Bullseye for Daredevil.
I think that would have worked better because Colin Farrell, I didn't like him.
It was. There
are a couple of American actors that can do it. Meryl Streep is one of them that she can do a British accent. Jake Gyllenhaal's sister, Maggie Gyllenhaal, does a good. She does a good English accent. So there are a couple, but there aren't that many. There are many more British actors that do better American accents.
But British actors do American accents best when it's an American accent. Like if they're like full on dude or full on Southern accent, right?
Yeah. Or if they go really husky, like you've got like what's his face House. Everyone thought was it Hugh Laurie? Everyone thought Hugh Laurie was American. Yeah, honestly,
John Boyega in Star Wars, the worst American accent ever.
You think?
Awful, just awful American accent.
I think when I met Tom Holland a couple of years ago, it took me getting used to his English accent. I was like, what the fuck?
Tom Holland's really London. He's like really London. Yeah, when he talks normally. Yeah, so I mean, I think then the Kristen Stewart's going to do an English accent as Diana. Oh my God, that's going to be weird. That's going to be so weird.
Actually, Kristen Stewart did a faux British accent for that Snow White film, the one with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah,
that was awful. Oh my God. Oh.
But this is, I actually genuinely think that Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent is actually pretty suspect. What are you doing, Syl? Also, I don't like this system.
I think I know what he just saw.
Yeah, he's reading the scoop.
Oh no!
I'm just listening to the conversation. I'm just listening. Oh my God! I'm glad this is on your channel and not mine. I would never read the scoop.
Go on. All right, James, stop doing that, man. Seriously. So what's going on? Do you want? Should we release the scoop now?
Give me a few minutes.
No, not right now. No, let's go on to.
Yeah.
Yes, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Let's talk about happy things.
Let's talk about a thing that has jokes in it. Yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2 it has a lot of jokes in it, doesn't it?
Oh man.
You know what? I will say I liked this episode quite a bit. I did like the first episode a bit more because I felt it was, it's interesting to see what's happening to everyone after the 5 years and with everyone coming back. So I liked a lot of it with Sam especially. that sort of stuff. The stuff with Bucky gets a bit old because he's been doing that for almost every movie now. He's just severely depressed. But what did you make of it?
I absolutely loved it, especially the banter between the two guys, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie. Really, it has an '80s buddy cop movie vibe to it, where they're going back and forth. The action scene at the beginning was fantastic too. I love that action sequence in there.
Is it wizards or sorcerers? What's going on there? I seriously think that was ad-libbing from Sam.
It sounds like it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, what's interesting to me, and are we allowed to talk spoilers about the Falcon?
Go on. Yeah,
so the revelation of the Flag Smashers seems maybe they're not full-on bad guys, and if you had your subtitles on, you'll notice the main gal that was, I forgot her name, she's a British actress that was in Solo. Her last name is the same last name as the original Flag Smasher in the comics. His name is like Carl Morgan or something. Her name is Carly. And then the other thing is, and Mikey and I have been talking about this forever now, is the Young Avengers are coming, and you saw him as Isaiah's grandson who opened the door who answered the door. That character's name ends up becoming the Patriot in the comics. So so it sets it up quite nicely. And then the revelation of the first Black Captain America. And the cool thing is these are all spun out of comic book storylines. So when I was watching it, I go, boom, there's 3 first appearances in that show alone, that episode alone, right? But I like the characterization of the Flag Smash. I don't think they're going to be full-on baddies. Obviously, there's the Power Broker, I think is his name, because it looks like they actually think what they're doing is humanitarian effort on their part. I think eventually she's going to come full circle.
Sin? Do you think there's a chance she could be Sin?
I thought she was going to be Songbird. But I haven't seen those powers manifest yet. But obviously, this goes back to the comic storyline of where they talk about the super soldier serum, but it's different from Cap's super soldier serum, right? Because obviously he ages a lot, and I think, but he said a lot of power though. He threw that thing right through the wall, and then so
that was a great scene.
This show is a lot different from WandaVision, where people were just looking at every single frame, looking for clues. This is pretty much straightforward storytelling of what they're telling you. And we still have Madripoor, which is coming, which everybody thinks like Patch or Wolverine is going to pop out, but
I think we need to stop thinking that like they're going to be revealing big characters like that in these TV shows.
Omega Red is trending right now. People think Omega Red is coming. That comic book has gotten hot.
Everything is out in the open. Like, oh, here's they're coming Battlestar. Like, oh, okay.
That character is in the comics too.
Exactly.
Yeah, his first appearance in the comics too.
Though we should know better with some of these guesses.
I think that
some of them got it right though. Battlestar is actually the equivalent of a Black Bucky Barnes from when they came up with that version of Captain America.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So. Omega Red though, it's like after I have Quicksilver PTSD. I have from WandaVision. So
Mikey, do you think Winter Soldier is gonna tie into Black Widow at all?
Yeah, I do.
There you go.
I think the fact that's what made them decide to just go premiere with it. They're like, we gotta get this out because once Falcon and Winter Soldier is over, that Black Widow film has to be out.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it. Yeah,
I think that's a good point. Isn't that art by Mark Gruenwald? Because there's so much Mark Gruenwald in here. I believe U.S. Agent was created by Mark Gruenwald.
Yeah.
He looks like a real dick too. I mean, he started off cool and then it kind of became a real dickhead.
But I am getting a strong Sin Red Skull Crossbones vibe. I know Crossbones is dead, but in the trailer she was talking to someone who could be the Power Broker, and had to stop when they were trying to.
Mark Gruenwald created Crossbones, so that whole era you're talking about, like the late 80s, early 90s era. I got a good feeling about it, James.
So they did Baker first, and now they're doing Gruenwald.
What I think is going to happen is
Diane Black about Lose My Mind. That's
fake Captain America is going to constantly keep on getting his ass kicked, and he's going to take a super soldier serum.
Yeah, I think that'll happen as well.
I think so.
What did you think of Carl Fredrickson? Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent? Sorry,
a lot better than the up meme, ones with the crazy. I thought
he looks
like I said,
him. He looks like him.
It
Come
started
on.
off.
Yeah.
I
think
this.
you weren't supposed to like him is what that whole last scene was like the shock of the look of horror on their faces when they see him, that goofy grin, like, oh no, not this guy.
Yeah, but in the comics, he's a good guy, but he's not.
He
like,
is, yeah.
But he's kind of a douche too at the same time.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And you can see. I think that's the way they're going to go with the character. Like, there's definitely a rift between him. I'm forgetting his sidekick's name now, but him and then Bucky and Sam. They're not going to be working together.
No, and I think they're going to make him more and more of a jerk, just to show you how more worthy Sam Wilson is to be Cap, and to outline that, like, okay, this guy cannot be Cap no matter what. Because it's the ego and the power is going to get to him. I believe it will engulf him, and he'll be completely obnoxious by the time the show is over.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. I honestly, for me, it was all about the ending as well. I was really into that, and I can't wait to see more of. Well, I suppose spoilers. Baron Zemo at the end. I think that's going to be a fascinating encounter between him, Bucky, and Sam as well. That's something I'm really looking forward to.
So, Edward, let me ask you this. This is one thing that confused me a bit, because at the end of episode 1, we saw full-on Baron Zemo with the mask saying I guess that was not that was a flashback scene, because now we see him, he's in prison.
Did we see that at the end of episode 1?
I could have sworn at the end of episode 1, Baron Zemo says the world needs to be rid of superheroes or something like that.
I think that's in a trailer.
It wasn't at the end of episode 1. I could have sworn it was.
Maybe I can't remember seeing that, but maybe you're right.
Remember, I watched it at midnight, so who knows?
I mean, honestly, I just really, I'm so happy they brought him back, because I think it's Daniel Bruhl. I think he's a brilliant actor, and I think I think they did the character a bit of a disservice, to be honest, in Civil War. And I liked what they did with it, but I was also like, I kind of wanted to see more. And now they're doing this. I'm hoping he's going to be in it in quite a big way. I don't know. I mean, you probably know more about this than I do, to be honest. But what do you think? What do you think? How do you think Baron Zemo is going to factor into all of this?
Well, Mikey, do you think it's going to lead into Thunderbolts? I mean, do you think Baron Zemo is going to disguise himself and become, because he is a great actor. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie about with him and Chris Hemsworth about the, I think, a Formula One racers. It's based on a real life story. He was absolutely fantastic.
It's called Rush.
Absolutely fantastic.
He plays Nicky Lauder.
Nicky Lauder, absolutely fantastic film. So. I've tried. The speculation on WandaVision just got exhausting and tiring. Just enjoy it.
This show will spin off several, Thunderbolts being one of them, and there's one I can't talk about on the air. But
well, you think about it, WandaVision spun off into the Multiverse of Madness and Secret Invasion. So
but like we always said, TiVo and Mikey, like this was supposed to have been the first show, right? Falcon and Winter Soldier. So
that's why I think it ties into Black Widow, and that's why you saw Black Widow moving. First you saw Falcon Winter Soldier moving. I think that's why, and now you got Black Widow coming out in July. I don't think
that's a mistake. Just in your opinion, like if they should have just kept Black Widow May, and then let Falcon and Winter Soldier go first.
They get more box office dollars in July. It's hotter.
So they're still looking at the box office.
And I think that's why people were so freaked out by WandaVision, because this was Marvel Studios' first TV venture, and it was so weird.
Yeah.
But if you had this one come out first, because this show is going to get a little bit weird near the end. They would have been more prepared because they were not prepared for WandaVision. Like, what the hell are we watching?
But it hit though. Like it wasn't like it hit. We was like weirded out. But
the irony is created discussion. But I think the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is what you would expect from a Marvel Studios show.
Yeah. As soon as it started, I was like, okay, this is what I signed up for.
This is MCU, you know? You get the
I remember trying to log in to watch WandaVision. I can tell it was busy because it took me a couple of tries. But now it's like, I don't know if they build up their server farm or whatever. At least I can watch.
Well, after that Quicksilver episode, it was no way you was gonna get in there the first minute
Exactly. Yeah. That was away like 15 minutes.
It just went crazy after that.
Especially the last 2 episodes. It was like crazy trying to get into.
I do think though, in the end, people are going to appreciate this show more than WandaVision. I think a lot of that is due to those unrealistic expectations they had, which were let's face it, let's Ed and I were part of helping people expect things, But what can you do though? I mean, when you get rumors, you get all this information
There
coming
was
in.
extra rumors out there. That was the amazing thing. Like I was even hearing. I'm not even like a MCU scoop guy, and I was hearing scoops.
WandaVision. Thing is, WandaVision isn't
that
done
was
yet.
right though. The bunny was right. They just cut it.
Yeah, but WandaVision isn't done yet. There's still more to that story. That's the problem. People are just impatient. They're like, okay, Mephisto will never show up. Of course he is. He'll be in jail too.
Yeah, they're setting up. Yeah,
a version of Mephisto will turn up, but he won't be called Mephisto.
He won't be called Mephisto. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to get y'all's opinion because at the end, when she was looking through the book, and correct me with the terms, but that's the connection right there, right? To Doctor Strange, the Darkhold.
Yeah.
That's the connection.
Well,
right
the
there.
Darkhold has already been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Ghost Rider. And
but is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon though?
No. Did you see the interview with the director of WandaVision? They asked him about the Darkhold. Why is the Darkhold different on WandaVision? He goes, I can't talk about that right now.
Okay.
Now he can't talk about stuff, but he was talking about all kinds of shit before that.
He should have told his cast to stop talking.
It's funny because it was on one of the sites and it virtually got ignored. There's this article, and I found it like, what? How come this wasn't everywhere? I mean, so he says, I could get fired or something like that if I talk about this right now.
But Charles Murphy said, no, I'm just playing.
What?
The thing is,
the show is over with. Deny it if it's not. You know what I mean? Why give like this non-answer?
I mean, I really don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Half of the problem with WandaVision was the amount of rubbish that they were spouting during their interviews. That was one of the big problems I think with it. And
the Bettany one was,
Yeah, that was the
one. But I mean, there's Luke Skywalker. The quote about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
that didn't help. And
the
nice young lady that plays Monica Rambeau, she has to be coached up on how to tease stuff because I don't think she knows comics. So she was teasing stuff like, "Oh, there's more to this whole aerospace engineer."
Did you guys see there's this Fred Hembeck comic strip where from the 80s? It has Monica Rambeau being sucked into a television show, and I sent it. Seriously, by Fred Hembeck, and I sent it to you, but like, where is this from? I'm like, did the creators watch this and go, wait a minute? Because that can't be a coincidence.
They had to use that.
I mean, there are many instances of people looking at, like, for instance, DC animated movies and things, and saying that Marvel copied those some things from there as well. So
it's so specific, though. I mean, it's so specific. Like Monica Rambeau herself in her Captain Marvel costume, being stuck into a TV show.
Oh, they had to saw that. It's like, okay, let's make a whole series.
Speaking of copying DC stuff, I don't know if you guys got to see it yet, but Invincible, fucking incredible.
Is that out now?
Already?
First 3 episodes are out right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
On Amazon Prime.
That's what I'm watching tonight.
Ezra Miller is voicing.
It's basically Robert Kirkman's take on the Justice League. Maybe some Teen Titans stuff in there, some Skrulls in there, but it's ultra violent. Just like
it's Amazon.
It's faithful to the comics. If you ever read the Invincible comics, and by the end of the comic run, it is a huge story. Basically, it's Robert Kirkman building his own comic book universe from within his own imprint at Image. It's nothing like The Walking Dead, if you guys are worried about that. The only similarities are the blood splats, because it is uber violent. But, and the cast, oh my God. So on Amazon Prime, if you pause it, you see the actors on screen. So Mahershala Ali, J.K. Simmons, Stephen Ewan,
Ezra Miller's in there.
The guy who played in Amistad, I forgot his name. The main.
I forget his name, but
yeah.
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Zazie Betts is in it. I mean, the cast is absolutely bonkers. If you look it up on IMDb, look up, and I was like, how did they get all these actors for this voice gig? Yeah, but yeah. J.K. Simmons plays the main guy, and Stephen Yeun is the voice of Invincible. But definitely worth watching.
So here, Zachary Quinto, Walton Goggins, Gillian Anderson. It is Gillian, not Gillian. Apparently, that's how she says it. Yeah, Zazie Beetz, is Seth Rogen, Mark Hamill.
Yes, Mark Hamill's in there. Wow.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's in the second episode.
Jonathan Groff, John Hamm, Digimon.
John Hamm, yeah, about that.
They went ham with this list.
Yeah, Digimon.
I'm telling you, it's the most bonkers cast I've ever seen for a show, let alone animated.
When they announced it at Comic-Con at home, like a lot of people kind of missed it. I was like, this is huge right here. This is Invincible. Yeah. Whatever they're doing there is going to be major. So yeah,
we covered it.
Mikey, I'll give you my Amazon Prime password.
Hey,
just don't buy any sex toys, okay?
It's free shipping if you do.
For all your listeners out there.
Come on, just fucking Mikey!
Alexa, play Lords of the Long Box podcast on Spotify.
Oh my god! Seriously, This Invincible show is another one that's executive produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. They did Preacher, didn't they?
Yes.
Together. That was a good show.
Which was a bonkers show as well.
Yeah.
This is perfect for my second channel. I'm gonna dive deep into Invincible.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to watch it as well. I hope.
Well,
I think
aren't they behind The Boys too? Didn't they help bring The Boys?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one either.
Have you ever seen The Boys?
Oh my god, you love The Boys, Mikey. That is
incredible. The Boys is so
see,
good.
the creators of The Boys are fans of Zack Snyder, Tivo. I don't know if you knew that.
You put that in there. Look at an endorsement.
Just throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out there.
Wait, I think the writers of The Boys also wrote Preacher, so you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's good stuff.
That's a good like comic
Garth
kind of
Ennis.
universe.
It's all Garth Ennis. It's all Garth Ennis and Darren Roberts did the art for The Boys, and
Derek Roberts,
Steve Dillon did the art for Preacher.
You know, when Garth Ennis first came out, he did this 3-part. Not sure if Tivo remembers this. Did this 3-part Thor story back in '96. It had a pseudo John Constantine in there. It looks like him, but it's not him.
Yeah, everyone loved that too.
Yeah. And I thought it was Alan Moore writing under a different name. They wrote exactly the same.
I can see that. And
Spider UK has the best comic book writers.
Oh, they do.
Sorry, Tivo. Spider Jerusalem was in The Boys too. He did a Warren Ellis's Transmetropolitan. He did.
Oh wow!
Oh, Transmetropolitan. Yeah, for DC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the UK do have some pretty good comic writers. Yeah,
no, they have the best, hands down.
Yeah. If you say so yourself, Edward, right? But
I haven't written one. I haven't. I'd love to, but I haven't. I don't know if it'll be any
good.
But
The Boys, I'll say season 2 is probably a hot take, but that ending of season 2 didn't really land with me. I don't know.
The Boys.
With The Boys. Yeah. That didn't really land with me, but it's a good series overall.
But apparently, like the very last shot was actually filmed for season 1, and then they just tacked it on at the end of season 2.
Really?
Yes. With
the dude on the sky.
Getting his name.
Yeah. That guy.
That guy.
I know.
What's amazing to me is how Amazon has the best comic book properties on all the streaming services.
You're right.
Yeah,
they do. Well, they have two. I mean, if Invincible is as good as you say, then they'll have two of the best.
They surprised me, like because they need these IPs. Like I know TiVo is has been preaching that Amazon has to keep up with this IP war,
But the difference between like Amazon and Netflix is Amazon has that Amazon money, right? And some Netflix shows they throw some money at as summer. Oh my God, it's just unwatchable on sometimes back in the day when it was a Netflix original, like, oh shit, what am I getting in myself? That's like a sci-fi original back in the day, right?
Low budget sci-fi.
Exactly.
The thing is, Netflix has bought a heck of a lot of comic book properties. So they have the Mark Millar. Yeah, they have all of that coming out. That
Rob Liefeld too.
Yeah, Rob. They've got Rob Liefeld stuff as well. They've got the what's his name, Stephen King's son one there, Lock and Key as well, which is a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But then they bought like a bunch of them at the same time, and then they did them all. So they did October Faction. And then they did V Wars. Was that V was such a bad name? V Wars and Lock and Key. And Lock and Key is actually really good. It's
well, there's just recently been more. They're buying up small titles as well. So Something is Killing the Children, I think, is another one that's coming, and I think eventually.
Well, you got the Sandman. You got DC's The Sandman. Somehow.
I'm such a Neil Gaiman fanboy, dude. I can't.
That's gonna be bonkers.
That cast is very impressive as well. If you want to pull that up, Edward, that's a very impressive cast that they have.
You talking about live action? Yeah,
still getting down with American Gods too, because anything Neil Gaiman does, man, I read, I
it's
consume
trippy,
it as much as I can.
It's gonna be trippy, man. The Sandman,
Well, I started my career writing about him back in 1990 for Amazing Heroes. My first article was about Neil Gaiman, Hellblazer number 27.
Yeah, so Netflix is fine.
Yeah, the big names in that is Gwendolyn Christie, Boyd Holbrook, and Charles Dance.
She's playing Lucifer, right?
That's great casting. Her as Lucifer.
She's gonna nail. She's gonna kill it. I know people look at the whole gender thing.
But that's another one of those weird things of Warner Brothers and AT&T of licensing out Sandman to Netflix, where they could have done it for HBO Max,
right?
They couldn't do it themselves, so they kept trying to develop that for years.
I assume the contracts were done before HBO Max was.
I believe so.
That's probably because it's been in development for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was in development,
and also Sandman is technically a Vertigo property, isn't it? Which is I know, so
but DC has the rights to it.
Which DC owns,
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, they literally had the rights, and then they went ahead and made Lucifer the TV show on Netflix.
Well, there's some weird DC comics that have been made into films that you didn't realize, like The Losers. And then just a couple of years ago, there was a film about these 3 housewives that end up being gangsters. That's based off of a DC film as well, DC comic as well.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? It took place in the 70s. That's based off of a DC comic, or at least a DC imprint of that. So just like Empty Man, do you remember that movie that came out during the pandemic? That was a comic book as well. I mean, some just don't blow up because, and in that case, they didn't promote it correctly because that story is a way out there. They kind of made it a PG-13 horror movie, so nobody really wanted to see it. But the comic is a
definitely DC is going to try to cash in on the Milestone imprint. I think they're going to knock out of the park with Michael B. Jordan producing the Static, with Reggie Hudlin. They're going to have a win right there. I think there's going to be some crazy talent behind that.
That was a panel of fandom that a lot of people slept on, was them talking about all the stuff that they're going to be doing for both animated as well as live action. So that
was really the big. I mean, besides the Matt Reeves trailer and the Snyder Cut trailer. Static was probably the biggest news that they was like, we're going full on with the Milestone universe. Yeah, that was a huge. Now they're developing. Reggie Hudlin said he's the mastermind behind all this. If people don't know who Reggie Hudlin is, like Google him. He used to like run BET, like the entire network. Right? Like he knows how to, like I said, diversify and bring, like I said, the entertainment. And he's getting to superheroes now too as well. With Michael B. Jordan. Like that's a win, but he's saying they're developing movies and series, and so
I mean there was tons of DC news that dropped this week. I mean, hell, the Suicide. Have you guys even talked about Suicide Squad yet?
I was going to.
That's a good trailer.
To bring it up. The trailer,
James,
amazing.
cue up the trailer.
It's so good.
He's afraid of copyright.
Yeah, that's a copyright problem there. But no, honestly, that whole trailer, it makes you think, I wish they just done. Wow. There's the trailer.
You wish they would have worked because James interrupted your point. He was making it work.
Wow.
He does.
You just. I was just like watching it, thinking, why the hell did they do what they did with 2016 Suicide Squad? You watch this and you think everything.
Ayers is a gritty, grimy director of like cop films, and he did the tank movie Fury, and nothing about that speaks to me. I love Fury actually. Yeah. I'm at I'm still trying to get my fade like Brad Pitt got in that movie. You know?
Oh man, that's such a good hair. That's such good hair.
Such good hair. But anyway. So David Ayer was like the worst selection ever to direct a Suicide Squad movie that they wanted to be funny. So we ended up with I think
they only wanted it to be funny when they released that trailer. And then people reacted well to that trailer, but hopefully they won't get the trailer people to re-edit this Suicide Squad film.
Oh my god!
I mean, who knows with what?
Is no one going to say Sylvester Stallone is voicing King Shark? Like,
That's
him. That's like perfect. That's like perfect casting right there.
He's going to own this movie.
He came in for a day, man, and he probably gets paid.
Spoiler.
Starro.
Yes, yeah.
I saw a funny meme today.
Right?
I seen a funny meme today where comic collectors are like saw that and they go, "Oh, let me Google the first appearance of Starro." Oh, by the way, it's also the first appearance of Justice League.
That confirms some leaks that's out there as well. So they gotta be careful with these trailers.
Did James Gunn gun down those leaks?
He's gun that down. Yeah. The only one he.
Rest in peace, Yaphet Kotto, yo.
I know.
In 2020, yeah, man.
Yeah, from Alien, that was really sad.
And we lost the guy that was an alien as well recently. I can't remember his name now. It was.
I just want to see an island with full of dicks. That's like they said in the Suicide Squad.
Thirst.
Want to see?
I think honestly,
the Red Dead trailer was hilarious.
I do wonder whether it was Trailer Park that edited Suicide Squad. That's I do wonder whether
don't remind me.
John Cena's going to like really steal this movie. I just every like scene with him in it, I just like it's so funny. And
I can't take him seriously though. I can't.
He's not meant to be taken seriously. He's an idiot. The guy's a bloody idiot. He's like, I want peace basically by killing everybody. It's like Peacemaker's a fucking idiot.
He's making his. They're actually filming the Peacemaker solo series right now. I saw him on. He was on Inside the NBA of all places, right? He was talking with Shaq because Shaq had a thing that he did wrestling recently.
I don't think he was meant to be seen anyways.
Good one, Mikey. Good lad.
That's funny. But I'm just saying, Mikey with the puns, I tell you. But with in that series, I'm looking forward more to the assassin in that series than Peacemaker.
Man, I'm a big fan of John Ostrander's Suicide Squad run, and Gail Simone's Secret Six. And this film kind of throws them both together. And if I see Cat Manager, I'm gonna lose my mind.
What's the name of the actor that plays Polka Dot?
He was an Ant-Man.
He was an Ant-Man. He's such a good actor because apparently he was literally living on the streets for a long time, and I think one of his first roles was in The Dark Knight. He was literally just seen by a casting director on the street, and they were like, "Do you want to get a speaking role?" It ended up being a speaking role. I think he was originally an extra, and then they thought he was so good that they ended up giving him a speaking role. Now he's playing Polka Dot Man.
What a lucky break, man.
The streets to Polka Dot Man. That's the American dream right there, man.
Here you go, man.
That's his name, Dave.
Give me a biography
there. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure John Cena will. I think it'd be funny if he dies.
He's such a meathead. You know what I mean? He's such a meathead. I mean, it's just
he's a good actor, though. I think he's a genuinely good actor.
Most wrestlers are because that's what they do. I mean, they got.
I would say that he's out of the wrestlers that have come out and gone into acting. I say he's one of the best. I think he's better than The Rock as an actor. I'm going to be honest. I do like The Rock, but I think John Cena can do a bit more. If you've watched. What was the comedy he was in? Oh, he was in a really good
with the one with the firefighters and the kids.
No, not that one. The one where he plays like a dad, I think, and he's like really kind of I am like Mr. Dad. Oh, I can't remember what it's like. Is it?
He was really funny in Southland Tales, which is not a comedy.
Yes, yeah.
He was absolutely fantastic and funny in that.
I'm blanking on the names of the movies that I've seen him in, but he's every time I've seen him in something, I've really been impressed by him. He's a good kind of comedic guy as well. I think he's good at that. And then I think the best wrestler actor ever is Dave Bautista. I think he's like head and shoulders above everybody else. I think
Stone Cold did a couple of movies. You know, Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold did. It was Blockers. The film that I saw him in. He's good in that. He is good in that. And people are saying no, Edward, but he is good.
Well, I think The Rock is more of his charisma than really as an actor. He's got a really good, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is the Arnie of this generation.
Now that I think about it, I just remembered Bautista was in the remake or the sequel of
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, yeah.
Blade Runner
good in that,
2049.
yeah.
He was fantastic in the beginning of that. So I generally think like I'm so excited for this film. I love James Gunn. The music in this trailer is brilliant already.
Yeah.
You can hear it's a James Gunn movie just from the music used in the trailer. I love the way it started out with everyone going, "We're going to save Harley Quinn," and then Harley Quinn's already saved herself. She doesn't need saving. She's fucking Harley Quinn. So I just love it. I think he gets everything right in that that trailer. Just to me shows that this.
Yeah,
I mean,
the tone of the first Suicide Squad movie was just off. It was like serious and forced humor, and you know, Mikey and I always talk about the music in Suicide Squad was god awful.
It was
swing better, swing. Come on, at least Jesus criminy.
Sorry guys, I got.
Oh, he's got it.
A team that can let Reese's comments slide off their backs.
Thing is, Reese is agreeing with me. I'm not entirely sure how good The Rock is as an actor. He's a good.
Yeah, he was horrible as a Scorpion, the Scorpion King. Yeah.
Dat Boy Steve liked him. Yeah.
All I remember was Kelly Hughes. All I remember from that.
Yeah, that's really all I remember. Yeah, from that film.
Пошли, все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства? Cocainum.
Oh my God.
Is that your face, Edward? Is that yours face?
I think Reese.
A band named Cocainum. I can see it.
Reese did
Why is a band ever named?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a movie that The Rock did his best part. It was a movie by Michael Bay with him and
yes.
Pain and Gain.
They were guys. Mark Wahlberg. That was probably his best role, and that was arguably Michael Bay's best film.
I agree with you. You know what's funny? Michael Bay was saying he took things out of the script from real life because they were too crazy. It's actually crazier than that.
Yeah, the true life story. Yeah.
Yeah, true life story. And seeing The Rock like cook human flesh was so weird.
I mean, I've seen some people in the comments saying that the Suicide Squad trailer was basically Warner Brothers' way to make Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Really? No. Maybe
I can kind of understand.
Yeah,
humor-wise, I think it's that. I think this is going to be ultra-violent. Like literally, this is going
a hard R. Yeah,
it's the same director.
Yeah. This is going to be the movie. This is going to be the movie. This is definitely going to be the movie that James Gunn really wanted to make.
Yeah, WarnerMedia is making you forget all the Ray Fisher controversy, all the Snyder cut.
Why else do you think?
Sorry, Edward, but that's a good segue. You guys want to get into this scoop?
Oh no!
Yeah, it's already 7:00, man. Let's do this. Come on.
So
let's do it.
All Snyder fans. I don't normally say this, but y'all never leave.
Yeah. All right. So, Tivo, are you good to be the sit still for a few minutes while Syl reads the scoop?
I haven't eaten yet, so you need to hurry.
Okay. All right, after you, Syl.
Pew, 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 pew.
Whew. All right. So I don't have my intro music, but this is a Geekosity update from Mikey Sutton. All right. It says, as fans try to restore the Snyderverse, Warner Bros. Wants the Flash film to end it. I mean, that first line just kills me.
Stick to the script and do your job.
So it says, I'm hearing that the Flash movie, Mikey's hearing, is not only intended to explore the multiverse, but to officially erase Zack Snyder's DC pictures from canon. Scheduled for November 4th, 2022, The Flash will essentially adapt the 2011 DC comic Flashpoint by writer Jeff Johns, Andy Kubert. This tale of an alternate timeline and parallel Earth has long been rumored as the blueprint for DC films to dive into the multiverse. It's important to specify this as a plan for DC films. After all, producer Greg Berlanti has been playing in the multiverse for years on his DC programs on CW. To him, it's not a new concept. But there seems to be a dash of 1986 Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's like it gets worse. In this film, it says, I'm told I'm told it is to make Ben Affleck Batman be the Supergirl or Flash martyr figure in the movie. Okay, everybody remember that cover, Superman holding or Flash disappearing. Okay, so for those who've read Crisis, Supergirl and the Flash make the ultimate sacrifice to save humanity. The Flash movie may erase Snyderverse from canon. Although Warner Bros. Is perfectly fine with multiple versions of Batman on TV, they want Robert Pattinson to be the only Batman in the cinemas. Warner Bros. Still is confident that Michael Keaton will be in The Flash.
Yeah.
However, if he sticks around, he'll return only as Bruce Wayne, post-Flash, like Batman Beyond. His Batman will be retired and the baton passed only to Pattinson. I got to talk to you about that, Mikey. HBO Max, on the other hand, continues. HBO Max continues to want Affleck as Dark Knight. As Mikey reported numerous times, HBO Max wants to keep the Snyderverse intact with hopefully new related projects for the filmmaker. Going forward, Warner Bros. Does not want a connected cinematic universe, but wants to cherry pick what they feel will sell tickets from Snyder's theatrical movies. That includes Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, Amber Heard's Mera, and Ezra Miller's Flash. The Wonder Woman and Aquaman franchises are not going to be rebooted. They'll simply ignore the continuity of the Snyderverse, make no references to them. When Wonder Woman or Aquaman meet Batman, he would not be Ben Affleck. He never existed. The Dark Knight is Robert Pattinson. Henry Cavill will be Superman in Rock's Black Adam corner of the multiverse. The Rock wants Cavill. You don't say no to The Rock. DC Films' path going forward is to disconnect. They want to throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. The thought process seems to be, if you don't like Our Man, you might enjoy J.J. Abrams' Superman reboot or Blue Beetle. Nevertheless, you don't have to watch all of them. By doing it this way, Warner execs won't need prior knowledge of the comic books. They will simply look at projects individually, make decisions regarding their commercial potential simply based on that. Sources said that their desires to offer diverse product that's not always quite true to their comic book roots. The comics will simply provide ideas that can turn into something different, tweak it to reflect it at times. However, Berlanti will keep his connected Arrowverse TV shows. Abrams is going to get a pocket universe on HBO Max. Neither of them, though, will share continuity with whatever Snyder does next for HBO Max or each other. In other words, throw the roadmap away. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
You're fired.
Pew, 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 pew.
Mikey, you're always dropping this bad news on these live streams.
Woo!
How you feeling, Syl? How you feel?
Kind of guess that though, that Flash was going to be a rebooting.
So, what's your first thought?
Yeah, first, well, that first line, I was like, oh my God, Mikey, drive the stake, through the, but that Flash film, Mikey has been saying that's JL Rebirth. That's the concept, DC Rebirth for the Flash film. They are resetting. Barbara Muschietti said that herself. She's a producer with the Flash film. She said they're resetting. So when you first read that, you're like, okay. But then we get to the Batfleck part, they really are. They want him in this film to signify them erasing Snyderverse continuity theatrical. That's literally his purpose.
By killing him off.
By killing him off, yeah.
Or maybe transferring him to another pocket universe, possibly.
Possibly. I mean, they could do it that way.
But
I left that kind of vague. It's basically his ending theatrically and passing the baton to Pattinson. So,
but I think it adds more emotional weight too if you kill off Ben Affleck's Batman on the big screen, right?
Probably raises the stakes of the film.
Who else could you kill where they would be like, people would, they're like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because when I was being told these plot elements, I'm thinking, isn't this Crisis on Infinite Earths? That's what I was thinking of.
It's not Flashpoint. Like, as much people call Flashpoint, what you're describing in
it sounds like Crisis.
That's Crisis. They're doing
Well,
Crisis.
they said that Flash was going to be dealing with multiverses and everything.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
that's Crisis.
I mean, if you're from the minds of a Warner Brothers executive, if you can think about that for a second, and then you have all these different tentacles going out different areas. I mean, it's bad if we have Wonder Woman popping up in different eras and nobody ever remembers her in Batman vs Superman. So I mean, you know what I mean? It's almost like you have to set it a clean slate and then just go forward from there, and hopefully. Going forward, I mean, Iron Man, I don't even know where the hell that fits in because that's from the Justice Society, right? I mean,
exactly, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird one, but you know, whatever, man. If it's a superhero movie, I'll consume it. But
I was wondering, I was like, why Iron Man's in this article?
no, but I'm just saying, like, where they need to go. Like, you know, in the past, like I think during fandom when Hamada says, "Look, we have kind of these director-owned projects, right?" And immediately we thought, "Oh, Jenkins and Wonder Woman, Juan and Aquaman." We kind of know Matt Reeves said, "Look, don't fuck with me. I'm doing my Batman films. I don't want you to tell me what to do with my projects. If this is how I'm doing it. Yeah, I don't expect Aquaman to pop up.
Connect though.
Yeah,
they want Patterson to connect somehow.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, eventually, you know. But I think the first but you know, when the news about HBO Max came out that WB was going to be releasing a lot of their films theatrically and on the streaming service simultaneously, a lot of directors came out against it because it says, you know, the exact verbiage is a little bit different, but they basically said Warner Brothers has always been a home to filmmakers and their vision. You know what I mean? And to and for them to put our big screen vision, because a lot of these guys are auteurs. They film things the way they see it as it should be on the big screen. And when they release it on streaming service, you know, and I don't know, beat a dead horse, but you know, the director of Dune has a very cinematic vision for what he wants to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure the folks at Legendary were not happy with that either, but eventually you're going to have to narrow it. You cannot have multiverses of different films all over the place because I think the general, us geeks, connoisseurs understand it, but the general film going audience will be will be confused. You know what I mean?
Edward, what do you think?
Thanks. Actually, no.
I'm not entirely surprised by this. I had heard that they're gonna try and do something a bit like this before, but I honestly. It makes me just not want to see this film.
I mean, it nails home the point. It's not Flashpoint. It's Crisis. That's
Crisis.
Really what it is.
Because I was talking to my insider and I said, "You just described Crisis to me."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really see a need to have like them connect Robert Pattinson's Batman with what's going on at the moment. Like that was one of the reasons why they were like, I do wonder whether they're like, oh, it looks like we can't get Michael Keaton involved.
I do want to clarify though. I want to clarify that I didn't hear that Pattinson's in the movie. I think symbolically is what they're saying. They want. Like, the last Batman they saw in the theater was Affleck, and they want to show that Pattinson is the man. You know.
Yeah.
So bad signal. All right.
That film better be good. The Batman better be good because they're going to really, really mess up Batman.
They're going to need that to save the DC at this point. But
what if Batman is flops?
Yeah, exactly. What they're going to do.
That's what I'm saying. That's going to be a terrible bargain or bet that they're putting on it. But
there goes the Hamada burger out the window.
This is the Hamada. Like this is what this sounds like. Reading this, this is Hamada burger.
You're betting a lot on this. I mean, seriously.
With the Keaton angle, Mikey, because I was messaging you about this, but they're wanting Keaton that says, to stick around as like the Bruce Wayne. That's the Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Are we still getting Terry McGinnis?
We're still getting Batman Beyond. Okay. Yeah, we're still getting. But again, none of this after this film will be connecting with each other. I mean, it's all like cherry picking and maybe we'll use this character.
Right. I wonder whether that's one of the reasons why Michael Keaton doesn't want to do the film, because he can't understand the fucking script.
Yeah, I know.
He's like reading it. He's like, "What the fuck? How many Batman do we need in this movie?"
That CW, we've been saying this for a while, right, Mikey? And I think TiVo, you touched on this. That Crisis show, they literally was letting you know what they were doing with the movies.
Yeah.
They're going full Crisis.
But they also had weeks and weeks of storytelling over different shows to build up to it, where I don't know if you can do that in one Flash film, right? It almost to do it properly, a Flash trilogy of films, perhaps, but in one movie, good lord, you're get ready for the Flash cut.
Yeah, I left it out of the
cut. Let's do that already. Release
I left it out of the article. I just didn't see where I could fit this in there. A little bit of tidbit for you guys. You won't like this either. Sorry, but apparently going forward. Depending on the project, Hamada wants to see more lower budget DC movies. I mean, not on the extravagant level.
Well, that makes sense for him.
That's why Our Man is getting made and Zatanna.
Sorry, okay. Can you? I don't know what Our Man is. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you.
He has powers of 1 hour at a time.
So is it just a guy that tells
He's
the
a
time?
Stargirl, wasn't he? Is he a Stargirl?
Yeah, there's a young high school version of him in Stargirl.
Yeah.
It's a whole movie of a guy looking at a watch. So,
Yo, I got 1 hour to defeat crime. So
super strict.
It'll lead to the Watchmen.
Oh my goodness!
I'm surprised we haven't even said the two words in this whole entire almost 2 hours now. New Gods. Like, where the fuck is New Gods?
Because there's no news on it.
Yeah, there's no news. I heard they're having problems breaking the script into.
It sounds like they're having problems breaking the Flash movie script as well. Why else would you have so many people leave that? Like, how many directors has that movie had now?
He's on a third director now, I think. He's on a third director.
Rick should have kept the first one.
Well, now they see a real purpose for their film, and they feel the Flash can introduce all these new concepts and characters that will not relate to it later on. So
can we catch up with the comments regarding the scoop?
Yeah. Go on, let's go.
I mean, Crisis in reverse. This is what this is.
Where does Cavill fit into the new world order? Oh,
he is in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah,
literally.
Right? Is Crisis going to be the same Crisis from the CW, but from Ezra's perspective?
That sounds like it. Actually,
it's exactly what it sounds like.
It sounds like it.
Well, I think that's partially, in fact, why they're probably not calling it Crisis, because of what was already on TV.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I asked about that because why don't you guys call it? No, we can't do that. The TV story arc was called that.
Right.
Okay, be honest.
We're supposed to see Grant Gustin, right, in this film.
Yes, yeah. But be honest with me. Did you like the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover?
I did.
You did.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was a high point for the last 2 seasons. It was a high point.
It was really, really good. Yeah,
really good.
I had to catch up just to watch it, so whatever they did worked, right?
It's so good. After I saw it, I stopped watching CW altogether. Because
that's the thing I was going to say. The only CW show I kept up with was The Flash, and then the other ones I was just like I can't watch these anymore. There are too many, and they weren't getting very good. And then the Crisis, well, they weren't. Let's be honest, they weren't. They were just getting worse and worse. Why are you laughing? It's true.
No, it's just funny how you said that. Go ahead.
But and then I watched Crisis on Infinite Earth. So this is so much better. This is obviously the series they wanted to make in the very beginning, basically. So we've had how many shows now of build up to that, and then it's like, okay, once that, why are they still pursuing these CW shows now?
It's like 5 years of
well, Naomi's coming next, and then they decided to squash the Arrow Black Canary series, right?
And
yes.
Yara Flora,
Black
Wonder
Lightning.
Woman.
Black Lightning got the
that's
the Yara Flora was supposed to be Wonder Girl.
A painkiller. They had a spin-off painkiller.
Yeah, they're doing a spin-off of Black Lightning,
which I feel they can get more younger viewers watching. Because Black Lightning's an older dude. So
yeah, I don't think that was a good choice, though.
But is that even happening now? That spin-off?
It has production. Is
that still happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mikey just wrote this whole squad to troll Syl. pretty sure.
Like I said,
And
I'm
made
glad
him
I'm
read it
here.
too. Yeah.
made him read it.
Because this show, I can kind of, dabble in more.
I figured you guys would be in the mood to bash WarnerMedia, so here you go.
I would have got
more
roasted on
ammo
my
for you
show
guys
for
too.
this. This is rough. This is rough. I mean, it cements the point though. I think that's the headline. This is a crisis film, which I don't think a lot of people knew.
Yeah.
So that drives the point home.
AOTD mean?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's a crisis film in more than one sense.
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Okay.
But they feel this is going to sell Our Man and Zatanna and like introduce all their new DC
So
properties.
it's introducing these worlds, but they don't want them to connect.
They're not going to connect, but hey, you want your money though, so you have to,
I thought the whole point was
Snyderverse.
This is the problem they have. I thought the whole point was that they wanted to be more like the MCU, like have everything be interconnected. And then it looks like
they want the MCU money, but they don't know how to organize it.
Doesn't
They
everybody?
want the money. They don't care about
And I do think that
how does
God.
Guardians fit into Captain
Punch the
Marvel?
screen next time you do that, Jay.
You want those $5 billion is what they want. Yeah.
I can do a better impression of Walter Hamada than he can do himself. Just him, and I need to put it red behind me. I want money.
James, I'm about to see my face when I first read that. I'm about to look before I read
Your
it out
face
loud.
is good. Your face.
When I was writing this, I think we were going to dump it on the show. And man, I hope Syl reads this. Just the opening line waiting for you, buddy.
Oh, that first paragraph killed me.
I knew we were going to bash WarnerMedia today. Like, you know what? Here's some more ammo for you guys. This absolutely sucks.
Hamada Burger. That movie, they should have called it Hamada Burger. The Flash.
Krypton's score so far, that is the case, unless AT&T puts their foot down and says, you know what, we want this theatrically, but it's looking like it's HBO Max all the way.
Yeah,
which is a silver lining in all this, Mike.
Exactly, we're getting it.
You're standing firm, saying more Snyderverse is happening. Zach liked the article, so he likes what you were saying. But the theatrical Hamadaverse wants to detach themselves, totally. So
Mikey, does Warner Brothers even? One, do they care what HBO Max do, and two, do they have control over what HBO Max does? Because to me, it sounds like the having the Snyder Cut on there shows that, hey, you guys do whatever you want on HBO Max. We're going to do our own thing on the big screen. Do they even care what goes on HBO Max? That's what Zach Clintar, or that's the head of HBO, right?
Win-win situation.
Clintar, what was his name? I believe Clintar is the planet of the symbiotes, by the way.
Clintar. Jason Kilar.
Kilar, yeah, Clintar. I'm thinking like Venom. That's the planet of the symbiotes, yeah.
Well, the Snyder Cut was AT&T putting their foot down if this is going to get made. But what we have here is just spaghetti thrown against the wall. And you guys would be forced to eat
Hamada Burger for you. It's just
Hamada Burger, it's a gourmet burger.
That even goes back before Hamada, though, when they used to have a writer's room. They said, just throw ideas and we'll see which one sticks. If I recall, that was before even Hamada came, when they were talking about building the DC universe.
Well, before the Joker came, when Joker came out, is when they started talking about doing away with the DCEU. Then AT&T forced a Snyder Cut on them, and they're like, "Well, maybe we'll give this a chance." And then Hamada really wants to leave his own legacy. He doesn't want anything that happened before. He was there, and he wants Our Man. He wants Our Man to be his legacy. No, seriously, and all these, and they don't want to put all these films together as one story arc like Feige does. They have no idea how to do this. They don't read comic books, so they have no idea.
Well, I guess we'll see on how many in time will tell in 3-4 months down the road when everybody's seen the Snyder Cut for whatever it is. And if there's ever, I wonder if there's ever going to be like a Blu-ray release or something like that. Because then real diehard fans can pop into Blu-ray and watch it whenever they want it. They don't need that HBO Max subscription. And if AT&T sees a precipitous drop of subscriptions, like the day the Snyder Cut Blu-ray comes out, like a week later, if there's like 20 million people who just cancel the HBO Max subscription, I think, what do you think would happen?
I want that documentary. Sorry.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one.
They could milk the Snyder Cut. If they're smart, they literally just milk
you know, see, Hamada can't take credit for it because Snyder was before him, and again, they're looking at the box office returns of Dawn of Justice and the Justice League, and they're like, and they just don't have any faith in it. And so there's a lot of issues there.
yeah, a lot of issues.
And they do want lower budgets. Hamada wants lower budget DC movies, unless it's something like the Batman. But you're gonna have more films like Our Man and Zatanna, which are gonna have.
Shazam was low budget as well.
Exactly, there you go. That's an example right there.
And it did great numbers for a low budget, I guess.
But Joker really convinced them, which again, like Edward said, they didn't want to do to begin.
That wasn't their thing, really. Yeah.
They're like, hey, lower budget films can do like $1 billion for us. And,
but also, Hamada comes from that background. He comes from a background of doing horror movies for pretty low budgets.
See, I forget it. See, that's why. Yeah, see, that's why Our Man is more of a darker film. They're saying like
DC though, like horror.
It's going to be darker 1 hour a day.
But the glimmer of hope, people that will pull up this article, as far as HBO Max, it says, like Mikey said, HBO Max wants to keep Snyderverse intact, hopefully with new related projects from the filmmaker. So you still can have the Snyderverse, but HBO Max only.
I talked to I asked the insider, so basically what Warner Brothers wants me to do is stay at home and avoid theaters. That's what it sounds like to me, right? I just stay home, watch HBO Max, and forget going to the theater. Like
this is an interesting comment from Clint. He said the Ann Sarnoff interview said they want to work on better continuity, but at the same time have solo films that they do what they want with. What does that even mean? And just say whatever you need to say.
That's not even the first time somebody at Warner Brothers. That's not even the first time. Somebody else said that too. It wasn't even Sarnoff. It was said like last year when they said that. It's something that's it's a company line that they're trumpeting.
Well, they're not comic book people. That's really the problem. Like Feige is a comic book guy. I mean, you look at Jon Favreau. These guys are all comic book guys. James Gunn obviously loves comic books.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that. It's a big headache to them, like putting this together. And there's no Kevin Feige person there.
So they're leaving it up to each filmmaker to just do their own thing.
Do their own thing. You don't have to worry about it.
The key word in your article is disconnect. They're literally using this flash film to disconnect everything. Yeah. Your own worlds, do whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like being on a conference call and then hanging everybody up.
This is worse than I thought.
It's the anti-multiverse, like the anti-life equation.
Kill the Snyderverse.
Anti-multiverse.
Infinite Earths, but kill the Snyderverse.
No, they haven't. I suppose the bottom line, they haven't got a clue. They really haven't got a clue. The fact that this film has been in production for so bloody long and it just looks like, literally it's supposed to start shooting like next month, and supposedly one of the main characters in the movie, bloody Michael Keaton, is on his ranch somewhere going, I don't know if I want to do this movie, guys.
The irony of the irony of a movie about a character that can run so fast that he can turn back time, and that this movie has taken so long to develop, is thick. The irony is so dripping. True. Yeah,
I think you know how to write a Flash movie. I mean,
just watch the Flash series. I mean, shit. He doesn't. I mean, they describe everything in there: Speed Force and all that. Because there's anti-Flash and
it's not filming until next month. They're probably in pre-production. I see someone.
I think Dan's right. They are already filming.
No, it's pre-production.
Are you sure? Because I think they're filming. Sure. They're going to film in the UK. That was one of the things that apparently scared Michael Keaton, is the fact that the UK has the coronavirus. Michael everywhere has the coronavirus.
If they were filming right now and Michael Keaton wasn't there, they'd be in big trouble right now because he's a big role in the film.
No, I think Michael Keaton's being polite. The script sucks. I'll just blame it on COVID instead.
He really should leak. He put it on his iPad. He should leak that script.
So it says here the Flash movie finally begins filming. Producer shares first set photo. This article was from February 17th.
Yeah, I think it has begun shooting in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what
you saw Barbara Muschietti take a picture.
Yeah,
of Andy.
They're in pre-production. You're not going to see any set photos.
It's funny how these guys that are making DC movies all have wives called Barbara.
At least not Martha.
Oh, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. You beat me to it. I was gonna say it. I was gonna say it.
Wanted to say that so bad.
I was gonna say to you, Martha fuckers.
Save Martha.
Why did you say that name?
Oh, that's deep. Tom and Jerry.
Somebody asked a question about Ezra Miller. There's no plans to replace him after.
After you strangled a woman in a bar. He's still around.
Time heals all wounds.
He should want to be erased from what I'm reading of this Crisis Flash film. Like, my goodness, man. This is a train wreck.
The good news is the history with the Flash film that this story could change again. So
and
the directors could change again. So you never know. I mean, it's
in a month.
One question I have for you, Mikey. Are we gonna finally find out why the Flash doesn't like brunch? That's the question I have for you. Because honestly, that
well, that's Whedon, man. That's Justice League.
Hey, that's canon though. Justice League is canon.
You know,
like in the
I think one of the parts that I think will bother people is when I was told about they're going to keep the actors they feel can sell tickets, and Amber Heard was one of the ones they listed.
She could play Mary Poppins.
Like reading this explanation, I see where Ray Fisher is like, nah, I'm not gonna. I don't want to be.
I want to know. I want to know what.
I don't think that was Ray Fisher's decision. You know what I'm saying? You can't come. You can't come out and say I quit when you were already fired. You know what I'm saying? It's like
seriously.
And Cernoff said he didn't want to work with Hamada, so we're moving on.
I want to know. I want to know what role Walter Hamada offered Ray Fisher in the movie, because he might not have offered him a cyborg role.
Barista number 2.
In Crisis, 2 characters. I mean, well, actually, a bunch of characters died, but mainly Supergirl and the Flash died. So who gets the other death? Who gets the other major death?
They'll try to do the bait and switch, so it won't be Supergirl, it'll be Batman, and
I would be fucked up if like they brought in Ray Fisher to play Cyborg just to kill him off.
Yeah, kill him off.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Exactly. Well, they've got what's her name, Sasha Cali, I think that's her name.
Yeah,
to play Supergirl. Is she playing Supergirl in the movie?
Yeah, they got plans for Supergirl though. They got.
So they're not going to kill her off. They're not going to.
I really like the actress that played the CW version or CBS version.
They're going to introduce the new Melissa. What do you want to call them? The new JLA, or I don't know.
Well, I think the Supergirl's being fashioned, Mikey, for what's that futuristic team?
You're gonna have Supergirl holding Cyborg's
Legion
dead
of the
body.
Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah. That's fashioning her for that.
You're gonna have Supergirl holding Cyborg's dead body.
That's what they wanted.
Just pieces of it and shit. Like, yo, I got in a car accident, and apparently, if a car accident severs 3/4 of my body,
Ray Fisher's like, you know what? I don't like Hamada right now.
Of the 2 characters who would sacrifice themselves for the universe, would be Batman and Cyborg.
Yeah.
I'm watching, I have a feeling they wanted to kill off Ray Fisher in this film.
Yeah, I think
but then they're definitely not racist, right?
Of course not.
But we hired Sasha Kaye. So,
I think sacrifice himself. Superman sacrificed himself for humanity.
Well, he wouldn't do that again, though. I mean,
not again. Yeah. Well, not if his dad told him after what his dad told him in Man of Steel. He's like, listen, read this Ayn Rand book, and you should know. Don't fuck with these people. Leave them be. For all you Snyder folks out there, you don't really know Zack Snyder until you know what he really believes in. So I'm just leaving that out there. So, but
hey, we'll concentrate on the art.
I can see where the Randness came in on the Man of Steel, because that's literally what his dad was telling him.
Yeah,
like don't fuck with his people, and so, but it's like, hey, let them be. You guys just go do your own thing. If you see me in a car wrapped around a tornado, just let me die. It's my fault.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I do remember that scene.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a bizarre scene, I have to say.
Mikey, are your sources like still leaning in on the Patterson being, eventually meeting the remnants of Snyderverse theatrical? That's the only way I can read it now. It's remnants of it, but Patterson is the theatrical Batman going forward.
He is going. Yeah. But you know what? They can still have Cavill meet Affleck on HBO Max, and if they ever
right.
But here's
Batman
the thing. Well, Affleck. Do you guys think Affleck will be like, yeah, I'll do a streaming? I mean, do you think his ego will be like, I'm a movie star. I'm not going to be.
If Zach directs it, I think he would do it.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah,
well.
And streaming's getting bigger too. Streaming's getting pretty big.
It is, yeah.
What were you going to ask, Edward?
I was gonna make a stupid joke. I was gonna say, do you think that Batman and Catwoman's children will have anything?
See, that's why we ignored him, James.
That is first.
Exactly why we ignored him.
That's my bad.
Bad call, James. Once in a million.
I only have stupid things. Yeah, I just want to know if that was a scene they were shooting, or what really. Yeah,
I'm all for it. Whatever happened.
I'm all for seeing a scene between.
And why haven't we seen another Batman trailer? It's been so fucking long. I mean, Jesus.
That is weird. That is
weird.
Yeah. The fact that
they're too busy on the Batmobile right now.
That's a different kind of cut there.
That's the Pattinson cut, man. That's the film he wants to see.
The Selena cut.
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting.
Oh my god!
I descended my own show into filth.
Come on, just fucking Mikey!
So, Mike, with this article too, it's basically this whole throwing all ideas out. Hey, pick a director. Hey, you got the first. You got
that's what they do. They just go, hey, you, Andy, you made this movie.
Got the Latino director for Blue Beetle, which is that's a win for them doing the Jaime Reyes. But they're like, hey, if this works, then we could do something else with him, team him up. So it's literally case by case basis.
It's basically an all you can eat Hamada buffet.
That sounds delicious too. I'm sorry. Stop using Hamada. Use a different name. That sounds delicious to me.
I'm getting hungry as well.
Hamada burgers
for
everyone. Oh my god, man!
Here's one for you: a Hamada roll at a sushi restaurant. That sounds delicious.
I'm so hungry now, and it's 3:30 in the morning here.
Edward, go find some sushi at 3 in the morning. Gas station sushi at 3 a.m. is always the best choice you can make after drinking.
We have a curfew here in France, so I can't actually legally go out of the house.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's 7 o'clock, 7 to 7. So
I'll just wait till 7 in the morning. Get some of that morning sushi.
I'll stay on there until 7 in the morning.
Now, Mikey, with the
JJ, sounds like a Captain Britain to leave you alone.
Yeah, the French police are really going to believe that. It's like, what the hell are you going on?
I got a question with the
Captain
JJ
Britain, you guys
Abrams.
chose Brexit, man. So
Talking about food. Y'all talking about food. JJ Abrams. Is Black Superman gonna be theatrical, or because you said he's gonna be more HBO Max? Abrams gonna be HBO Max, but
he is, except for Superman. That'll be a theatrical.
Stick it to Snyder. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
He'll be the Superman for the theaters.
It's going to be really interesting to see the Flash movie come out and deal with the multiverse, and then Doctor Strange 2 come out and deal with the multiverse. It always seems to happen. This thing. It always seems.
Sony already did it with the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse, and they did a really good job. They did a really good job with that. But then again, that's very much kind of Spider-Man centric. So like
This
every
is what
character.
I think, man. How much money did they give J.J. Abrams?
$500 million.
You don't give somebody $500 million to not run some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the way I think.
He's throwing it all out.
Apparently, they want him to do a Lost type of show for HBO Max.
They want him to fuck everything up. Then.
We're paying you $500 million.
Hey, how about these boxes, right? They're full of mysteries. What's gonna happen? I don't know.
Mike, you said his Superman's going to be prominent. Is that what you just kind of stuck in there?
Yeah, he is. Oh yeah.
I catch everything, Mike.
Spoiler alert! I know. I was saying he's just scooping his dropped him on the top of a hat, but yeah. They want to make him prominent.
I have to put a disclaimer out there. This stream is not sponsored by him.
because Mikey, they want to do another JL team up, right? Well, Hamada verse.
Hamada League.
Hamada League.
Hamada League. There you go.
That's another one. With the Blue Beat, with the Jaime Reyes, with Shazam,
Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean,
Pattinson, Black Superman.
That's what they're trying to do.
eventually, if these films do well, but they're gonna come from different universes, though. You know what I mean? They're gonna come. Guys, it's a smacks of Crisis so much. Even beyond this,
they're leaning on the Crisis. Like that's gonna be their reset button every 2 years.
You know what it sounds like? Seriously, what it sounds like? They're doing the Arrowverse for the theaters.
Oh my
god!
No.
Just call a New 52 and be done with it. Done.
Yeah,
That's it. Flash, New 52.
Right.
You just
They're
give
just
ideas.
pulling ideas out their asses like at this.
What if they
moment.
do call it that? New 52. I mean,
it's already a rebirth.
Who gives it? Who honestly? Let's be honest. Who gives the shit what they call it? Like seriously, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. They can call it. They can call it all
It's
they
still
want.
a Hamada burger.
It's
a
still
lot of burger.
Hamada, hibachi, and grill. That sounds.
you remember when Supergirl was on CBS and she met the Flash? They were both from different Earths and they met. They had
a little sing song, didn't they? They did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They want to do it. They want to do it like that, where you have Blue Beetle from one Earth meets whoever on a different Earth. But they're not setting. They're really going to confuse the general public with this. Just totally confuse everybody.
But their whole article, that New York Times article that coined the cul-de-sac term. Yeah. They were like, no, we're trying to kind of hone it together, and like they're literally doing the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, in their eyes, though, they are honing it together by creating the Hamada League that Mikey just coined the phrase for.
From different herbs. Infinite herbs.
Back to when Flash met Supergirl, and then when Ezra Miller met Grant Gustin's version.
Yes.
Right, that was pretty cool. I mean,
that was pretty cool.
And one thing that I missed from the Whedon cut that was not in Zack Snyder's cut is one of the most iconic comic book scenes ever, which was Superman and the Flash racing. I mean, that's like the most iconic things in comics ever. I think the races happened 3 times in the comics, 3 or 4 times in the comics. 3, I think. And he could have kept that in there for us. Come on, that was great. Come on.
Well, I mean, Zach kind of showed a version of that, right? That Superman is actually faster than the Flash. And it's not.
But that's a nod directly to the comics, though.
Do you think the tone would have fit if they kept in that scene at the end? I don't think
the end tone didn't fit as it is. I mean,
I
mean, the tone of the ending of the movie didn't fit as it was, where you had to cut to Deathstroke and then cut to Nightmare. I mean, there should have been some weird, I don't know, a segue or something. Or they should have took the 2 scenes and put it mid credits and end credits. I think.
I don't know. I loved the endings and I loved the pacing of the episode.
No, they should have before they showed that Nightmare scene. They should have said coming next on HBO Max, and then show
something. Yeah, there should have been
because that was a setup for it.
But then they'd have to commit,
Yeah.
Basically, what we're seeing here is a group of different pocket universes. Is what they're gonna do.
I love it.
You keep on trying to use different verbiages for Crisis on Infinite Earths, like pocket universes,
I'm struggling.
alternate universes,
Hell Earths, pocket universe. I'm struggling.
They're going full on Crisis. That's why everybody's rumored for this movie. They're like, oh, this person may show up. This, Linda Carter may show up for. Because all these Earths are going to be shown in the montage, basically.
So, The Rock will have his own pocket Black Adam universe because Henry Cavill is a Superman in that one. He's not black.
Yeah. But not connected to the Snyderverse.
It's like, so...
That's kind of like their win-win. What does Cernoff say, James? That's their win-win right there. Yeah. You keep Cavill, put him in a
win-win situation.
It's a win-win, exactly.
That's what that is.
Well, Black Adam is basically Earth 2, though. He said it pretty much in talking about it. It's Justice Society of America. That's Earth 2. That's not Earth 1.
There's Earth Hamada, like it's Earth Prime, I guess.
Earth Hamada.
Hamada Earth. There you go.
There you go. Hamada Earth. There's the Aronoff Earth. There's the Abrams Earth.
Should we go into the comments, see what people are saying? This one I like. The interruptions are insufferable. Let them talk.
You haven't seen the show.
I just want to hear Syl laugh all night long.
You haven't seen the show before without interrupting.
The extraordinary consequence.
Right on key. See?
You got another one, Hamada Salmonella. That's a good one.
There you go.
Oh, there goes your appetite. There goes appetite. Yeah, no longer hungry.
We got some people asking if we got any Star Wars scoops. No, not for you guys. Sorry.
Tune into my channel for the Star Wars scoops.
What else do we have? We've got so much stuff. The exercise was to make Snyder's vision, not to make the best film. Otherwise, they would have had Aquaman sitting on the lasso or Batman telling the Flash to concentrate on saving one person.
That's Justice League.
That is Justice League. Yeah, that's all the shit.
Whoever left that comment, Zack Snyder said he wasn't using any of Josh Whedon's footage.
Right.
So you can kind of parse what films were in between. If you watched Justice League, you can see he used a lot of Snyder's footage as well. And then you can see what Whedon filmed by what wasn't in the Snyder cut, right? I mean, so the lasso scene actually I thought was pretty hilarious. I think that could have.
That was actually a funny scene. It didn't fit.
It was,
didn't fit the Snyder cut at all, though. You know, just in context of the Snyder cut. Though
I mean, having humor, it didn't fit at all. Because
you say that, but there was actually. I rewatched it again a second time, and there is actually quite a lot of humor in it. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's just not as Joss Whedon type humor.
But Momoa sold the lasso scene. I think that's like one of the best things Whedon did.
Yeah, well, you realize that in that film, that's literally the only time Aquaman talks to Wonder Woman, and he literally just calls her hot. Like that's kind of what he does. He just
sounds like Whedon.
It's something I would do. Shit.
Yeah.
I heard you get some of these too. Shit.
Oh man.
I just have one quick question.
Right,
I just want Edward to talk about Amber Heard's water bottles and her accent again. So,
should he go to bed?
Oh my god!
Wear the fuck out of that suit though. Come on now. Mira was looking. Oh, she's looking like a deep sea snack in that suit. Sorry, I'm hungry. I'm thinking about Hamada burgers. Now I'm thinking about snacks. I need to get up out of here, man.
A deep sea snack. Yeah, what I'm gonna do now. I think we're gonna end it there with the Hamada burger. This has been the Hamada Burger Show. Thank you guys so much for joining for another Super Team Megaforce chat. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you want, if you want, you can promote your guys' channels or whatever the hell you want.
No.
All right.
Go to Sylabdul.com.
TiVo only does that at the end of the small screen streams. He comes in.
He literally comes in the comments.
People know.
Go to my stream tonight.
Yeah,
people know. People know.
You can follow Small Screen everywhere at Small Screen Co. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to the website, which is small-screen.co.uk. Go to the Lords of the Long Box as well. He's promoting it. God, I need a Small Screen hoodie, man. I need to get that down. Go to GeekosityMag.com for all the Mikey Sutton scoops. You can go and follow that. Where can you follow Geekosity on social media?
GeekosityMag.
At Daniel RPK on Twitter.
And Geekosity.
And we got this covered.
Evo, you're doing so well, man.
We need like a Hamada Burger shirt, James.
So you can follow James. Where can
don't follow me? You don't like
follow James. We got this covered at Giant Freaking Robot. Daniel RPK. Let's get them all out now.
And Penn Jones, if you're out there, if you want to.
No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over Amber Heard. It does feel like this is me shitting all over Amber Heard, but fucking hell, it was awful. Come on, she might as well just gone. You're all right, guys. Mira, I'm really pissed off.
Hey, man, I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge whatever interests you have.
Seriously,
Mikey.
Worst bit of the film.
Well, we got a crisis coming though, so that's everything.
Crisis over at WarnerMedia. Oh, man.
Like if you need to try Hamada Burger.
Yes, like and subscribe, and I'll let you guys all go now because you've been here for 2 hours. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. Cheers. End the show. End the show now. Come on, James. End the show.
End this motherfucker.
Push the button.
In a world that is constantly consumed by war, between insiders and scoopers battling on Twitter like little kids in a schoolyard, there is one team that can bring hope. A team that doesn't partake in petty rivalry. A team that sets their egos aside to bring you the scoops they get. A team that fights for enjoying the moment, not the flames of war. That team is Super Team Megaforce! A team that thinks Edward Lauder should play Captain Britain. A team that makes Syl laugh because it's infectious. A team that brought Mikey Sutton from out of the shadows. A team that tries to control TiVo's monologues. A team that for some reason lets that James guy play silly clips.
Yeah.
This is Super Team Megaforce!
Wish I held onto a little piece of that thing, because the buzz is any indicator, that movie's gonna make some huge